then remember to turn the mic on at the podium. Are we ready to begin, Chair Griggs? Okay, we can call the meeting to order.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to call to order this regular Parks and Community Services Commission meeting at 6:32 p.m. on December 11th, 2025. Love to see a full house. Can I have Youth Commissioner Plummer lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Thank you very much. Roll call.
Yes, Youth Commissioner Sonia Chandi,
Present.
Youth Commissioner Charles Plummer,
Present.
Commissioner Shirley Coote,
Present.
Commissioner Scott Meyer,
Present.
Commissioner Ian Smith,
Present.
Vice Chair Elston Mallory,
Present.
and Chair Gina Griggs.
Present. All right, at this time, I would like to open up the floor for public comments for items not on the agenda. Do we have any online or submitted?
Is there anyone online that would like to make a comment for anything that is not on the agenda? Is there anyone in person that would like to make a comment for anything not on the agenda? There are no public comments.
Thank you very much. We will close public comment for items not on the agenda. We will move on to the consent calendar. Minutes of October 9th, 2025. Recommendation is to approve the Special Joint Parks and Community Services Commission and Open Space Active Transportation and Sustainability Committee minutes for the meeting held on October 9th. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
Thank you very much. Do we need to approve the minutes from the November meeting as well?
Yes, yes, we do.
Gina, I had a question about the November minutes. I had a question about the November minutes.
The November meeting was November 13th, 2025.
Okay. In addition to consent calendar, item number 2 would be approve the minutes of November 13th, 2025, regular Parks and Community Services Commission meeting. Are there any questions or additions to the agenda?
Yeah, I had a question. So it said in the meeting minutes that we didn't receive a presentation. There were no presentations, but we did receive a presentation in the from regarding the what was this? The ballot initiative measure. So shouldn't that be included?
The minutes will be amended.
Yes, correct. We will amend the minutes to show that there was a presentation by Assistant City Manager Juan Gomez regarding revenue measure. Thank you for that. Commissioner Smith? Okay. At this time, we will open public comment for business item, community grant recommendation, review and comment on the community grant applications and provide a recommendation to the City Council on the grant award distribution. Do we have any public comments on this business item?
Chair, can I actually step in really quick before we do public comment and give you guys a brief overview of why we're here this evening? Do you
Yes,
mind?
please.
Thank you. So again, thank you all for coming this evening. We are going to be discussing the community grant program. As you all recall, the council has tasked this body to create the community grant program policy that was adopted by City Council earlier this year. In addition, once that policy was adopted, we opened up the community grant program to all of our nonprofits throughout the community, and that was open to the public from October 21st through November 14th. We received 20 applications. Of those applications, 19 applicants are here this evening. One of them did drop out and is no longer participating. Before you this evening, you have all 19 applications, including who that nonprofit is, and they all have been vetted by city staff to make sure that they meet the minimum qualifications, which is that they have a 501c. The community grant program, the City Council has allocated $30,000 to this year's program, which will end on June 30th of 2026. And so the goal this evening is for the commission to review the applications and make a formal recommendation to council, which will be discussed at the council meeting on Tuesday, December 16th for award. And that is my staff report. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that overview, Director. And now we will open for public comment on this business item.
Is there anyone in the room that would like to make public comment on this business item? Okay. Is there anyone online that would like to make public comment on this business item? We have no public comment.
Thank you. We will close public comment on this business item at this time. And we will move on to the highlight of the evening, the presentations. I personally am very excited to hear all of these presentations. So can we invite up the ACHS Wolfpack Music presenter?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. There we go.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Mindaros. I am one of the parent volunteers or parent council that is part of the ACA, American Canyon High School Wolfpack Music Incorporated. I come here to represent the Wolfpack Music, who is a 501c3 consisting of the American Canyon High School Instrument Music parents, current and alumni. We support the last and only competitive high school music program in the county, plus the overall high school instrumental music curriculum. So we have many different programs that we support, such as the marching band, the color guard, but then also every single student that takes the class. We all support them as well too. We cover curriculum and logistical gaps that the Napa Valley Unified School District does not, such as the purchase of music sheets, instrument repair and replacement, school buses and rental trucks for our competitions, adjudications, uniforms, feeding our AC children in competitions, and building props for competitions. So we're there to support our community. The school can only support so much, but we have to do our part as what's it called, the 501c organization to keep this program running. Personally, I have been part of the marching band when I was a high school student, so I know the hardships that the students have to go through now too. With my children being part of the school, so since my son is currently a sophomore and my daughter is a senior, we understand the logistics and the hardships that we have to go through in order to make this music program go running. Our ensemble, overall music program, we have the concert band, string orchestra, wind ensemble, chamber orchestra, jazz band, marching band, color guard. So there's over 250 student enrollments that are part of the American High School Music Program. Our proposal is to help us fund this music program. As much as we always need help, just like any other school program, we're just asking for a donation. I'm sorry about that. Who we are. This is who we are, and our curriculum goes out, what we were talking about earlier too. Our vision, of course, is to provide logistical and curriculum support that fills the funding gaps. Like I stated, there are many funding gaps that the school cannot provide it, and it also has to come out of the pockets of the children involved, as well as the parents that support this program. We are teaching our children the many things that come with the music program, such as leadership, teamwork, and discipline through performing arts. These are the different ensembles that we talked about earlier, and our children learn the main things when it comes to being leaders and team members, being responsible, role models, discipline, and lifelong skills and friendships. And the children that are part of the band, even though it may be a band only, they become on to be different people in the future, engineers, scientists, professional, tradesmen, so forth like that too. This is our current marching band performers or, ensemble. That's it, sorry, I had no time. But we also ask you to help us support our program. Thank you very much.
If we can actually have ACHS band back up there, the commission's going to ask you a couple questions. Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you, Mr. Menderos,
Yes.
for that presentation. 3 minutes does go by very quickly, but thank
Yes.
you for all of that information in a short amount of time. How much district funding does the music program receive?
So when it comes to district funding, we have, usually we would have to, go over with our accountants on that too. But then the last time that we checked, it's always, combination of splitting through the music programs. So last time we received, I think, $1,000. It was called to split between the choir, the band, and also the theater arts, $1,000 a piece. So that's what we received last time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. What you do is very much appreciated.
Thank you.
It says you would serve 500 residents on the application. But we saw 250 in the
They meant 250 students.
250?
Yes.
Okay, just getting clarification on that.
Okay, thank you. Not 500, 250.
Okay, thank you.
What other type of fundraising are you doing for this?
So the other fundraisers that we have two major events that just happened within the school year. The first one is we call the American Canyon Band Review, the first one that we had this year. It's a competition of different bands that come to American Canyon to compete against each other. Of course, it's a competition, but then we use that as one of our major fundraisers, and we have another one coming up in the, I think, spring of next year, what we call the Winter Percussion, where there's a bunch of probably 30 schools competing on our campus. So those are our two major fundraisers for our programs.
Hello.
Hello.
So you're asking for $5,000. Perhaps if you could, just quickly go over what you're going to do with those funds.
Most of the funding, of course, goes back to the music program itself. A lot of it would be into a lot of instrument repair. As much as the band has a lot of instruments, but then of course there's no one to repair these instruments, because that comes out of our pockets. We also want to use that funding as well to purchase some new equipment as well too, because just like any other musical instrument, money comes quick. If you've ever seen it before, an instrument, what's it called? For example, alto saxophone can be $1,800 just for a saxophone. So we understand not every single kid can afford an instrument. Sometimes we try to do as much as we can. We recycle instruments. We always ask for donations, and we ask for help and support. So it's mainly for the repair and also purchase of equipment in the future.
I had a question for
Sure.
Director Akita.
Yes.
Under this process, is it all or nothing, or can we give like a portion of the grant?
Correct. So we only have $30,000. It's a really great question, and we have 19 applicants here this evening. And if we were to add up all of the grant requests, it absolutely exceeds $30,000. So the council is expecting this body to be able to identify what programs we should invest in and support based off of community benefit and community need, and where we can find the most value out of that. And that could be, you can either give all, or you can give a little to everybody. It really just depends on what this body finds value in and what that recommendation would look like. But bottom line, it cannot exceed $30,000. So that is our cap for the evening.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll just you're all doing great work in the community, and we really appreciate it. But as Director Gita just explained, there's a ceiling. So I'll be asking this question of everybody, so kind of get ready. I think we have over $145,000 in requests. The pot's $30,000. So my question is, if we're not able to give you the full amount,
Yes.
can you still work with that?
Yes.
Okay.
So therefore, I saw that number there too. We talked about that. 5,000 is what we requested, but we would appreciate any funding at all too from you guys. Technically, we're just here to support. Numbers are numbers, but we want to support the whole community as well too. So, we appreciate any type of donation from the city.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, good evening. Good evening, I am Tracy Ramella. I'm representing AHI today. We're AHI Swim Team, the local recreational swim team. I am the treasurer. So who we are. Okay, so here who we are. So our mission is to provide a family-oriented recreational program that inspires young swimmers to do their best, encourages mentorship, teaches good sportsmanship, and helps athletes improve at every level. We are a nonprofit, as everyone else here, so we are a parent-run swim team, and we're committed to making youth swimming accessible and community-driven. We promote self-growth in our youth. Our vision is to build a program of excellence that instills a lifelong love of swimming. We also have affordable programming to ensure that all swimmers of all backgrounds are able to be a part of our organization. And we also want to ensure that cost is never a barrier to participate. Why our work matters. So have you ever been at the pool or vacation and you don't want to worry about your kids if they're going to drown? Swimming is a life skill, right? So swim lessons do teach safety and basics, but swim team does develop deeper comfort in the water, a strong technique and endurance, and skills that just support lifelong health and reduce drowning risk. I am having trouble with this. We also promote self-confidence. So we offer swimming 5 days a week, and this enhances the swimmer's consistency, routine, and positive environment with swimming. And we also promote leadership. We have some of our older swimmers who are junior coaches. They become mentors, and they are role models for our younger swimmers. So our programs are, I have 30 seconds left. Okay. So our programs are, we are a competitive swim team. So we do promote the kids to, okay. Okay, there we go. That went fast. So I'll be open to questions now.
So for these scholarships that you're going to provide for all the swimmers, are they going to also provide like supplies for them, like goggles, caps, buoys, kickboards, things like those?
We did apply just for sponsorships, to do partial sponsorships for the registration fees for enrolling, dependent on how many, sorry, that was my timer. Dependent on what we are given, if it is allotted, we would try to provide that based on need. In the past, we have provided swimsuits and goggles. For the past few years, we've done mostly partial sponsorships for registration and enrollment.
And how many students currently require financial assistance?
Last year, we had 12 swimmers, and I believe 6 families, because a lot of the families have more than 2 swimmers.
Thank you for your service to the community and for the youth. So my question would be, what is the eligibility criteria to receive the scholarship, and how many recipients are you looking to reward?
We do it on an applicant basis. We have an application and we have them fill out what their needs are, and then we determine on the amount, whether it's partial or full. We don't have a cap. We just try to see who would need the support in order for them to join the organization, because we don't want to turn anyone away just because they can't afford it.
Thank you very much for that presentation and for keeping everyone safe in the water. What are your enrollment fees or your registration fees for the 2026 year?
For the 2026 year, it will be what it's been for the past 6 years, $400 per swimmer. We do give a discount for siblings of 10%.
So I see on your application that you project to benefit 30 participants, but the ask is $3,000. So can you explain to me what the plan is for the ask?
Well, we do want to increase our enrollment by 20%. We've had lower attendance because of COVID and the not that many swim lessons within the city. So it's been taking some time to build up our community of swimmers. So like last year, we sponsored $1,800 worth of swimmers, which was 12 families. We weren't able to do full sponsorships because of how many had asked for it. So we're hoping that the amount we're asking for can also assist with increasing our enrollment.
Thank you. Are there any other commissioner questions at this time? Okay, thank you so much for your presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Good evening. Thank you so much, Parks and Community Service Commissioners, staff, and Youth Commissioners for having us here tonight. My name's Karen Hatton. I'm the principal of American Canyon High School. And I just really wanted to introduce my community engagement team. We are here representing the Alliance tonight, which one of our main goals in the last couple of years at ACHS was to increase opportunities to engage with our community. And we believe that this ask and this project is a great step in the right direction for the Alliance to begin doing so. So thank you so much for having us tonight. And I have my assistant principal, Ms. Leahy, here, and my parent liaison, Karina Cervente.
So I won't get into this too much just for sake of time, but a lot of our driving factors and why we wanted to open a food pantry at American Canyon High School was really because of our mission, our core values, and our vision, which is really about fostering relationships with the community. We want to have a lot of community involvement, so much so that our students are required to have community service hours to graduate. But also we want to make sure that our space has a lot of inclusivity and belonging, and that we're empowering our students to grow and succeed. And so it's really about, with this food pantry, taking the words in our mission and vision and then making it an action plan into the community and how we can help serve the American Canyon community. We want to serve students, we want to serve families and community members. There's a lot of overlap with this in terms of who we're serving, but if we just look at our students alone at all of our AC schools, not just the high school, but all the schools, as low as 60% are on free and reduced lunch, but at some sites it's up to 70 or even 74%. So there is a need for this within our community, and we feel really strongly that American Canyon High School is a place where it's community-based, it's accessible. We have families coming and going from our site every single day, thousands of students and thousands of families. And we also feel like we have the outreach and the ability and communication platform to really get information out for the food pantry to our community members. I'm going to let Karina take it away.
Thank you. This pantry will allow us to create partnerships with existing food pantry and AC Community Garden in a centralized location. This is not competing. It is an extension of work already happening and much needed in AC. Create an opportunity for HCHS Garden Club to also provide resources and student volunteer and maintain dignity and confidentiality with having it at the proposed location.
So in conclusion, we really think American Canyon High School is a great space for this food pantry because it's not only serving our students, but the community at large. And thank you for your time tonight.
Can you tell them we work at a high school?
Are you partnering with any other places like USDA or Canvy or any of those places?
So that will be one of many goals to have. We really want a partnership with Kiwanis since they run the food pantry right now. In the past, pre-COVID, I opened the American Canyon Middle School food pantry in collaboration with Kiwanis. It was really well attended, but then COVID hit, and then the middle school had a overhaul. Yeah, the goal is to collaborate with as many organizations as possible.
Okay, thanks. I'll wait for your presentation at Kiwanis.
Thank you. I'll be there.
Hello. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. It's great to hear from all of you, and I'm proud to be part of the school of supporting our students and providing this resource. And one question I had is, what effort will be made to make sure that these meals are also healthy and nutritious for students?
Yeah, so I can speak on that a little bit. One of the partnerships we want to have is with the community garden within AC and then also at American Canyon High School. So being able to provide those types of foods, fresh foods if we can, from our garden is one way that we're hoping to do that. Yeah.
I want to add to that. Part of the funding that we are asking from this commission, it's going to go to a refrigerator. That way we can keep those vegetables fresh. I have been in contact with a lot of folks at the community garden because I do have a plot there. And so hopefully I will bring my tomatoes because they're amazing. But the city actually has, I think, 3 or 4 plots. And right now, those vegetables are going elsewhere. They're not staying here in the community. So our goal is to keep those resources here for our families, since it's a, AC, community garden, right?
So thank you very much for what you all do with this. And just to confirm, you all have no working budget, so you survive from donations. Yeah, okay. So your program, does it serve current and former students and families, or current students?
The vision, it's going to serve current and former. Really anyone in the community. The school was opened with a deep legacy of being kind of a community hub. It represented 15 years ago the fact that AC students didn't have to get on buses and go up Valley. So that is just a really rich legacy. And so we have a community clinic built on our campus that really never got utilized. So what we're trying to do now is revitalize some of the original vision for that partnership. And absolutely, anyone who's in need, that's our goal.
Thank you very much. So just to clarify, this is a new program, not an existing program. This is a launch program. Okay. And I see the drama budget is attached. Is drama going to participate? Who's going to run the program?
So just to clarify, this is seed money to start the program.
Yeah, so we have our Alliance, which is our nonprofit organization. So our Alliance helps fund a lot of different entities within our school that maybe don't get the budgeting that they need or the donations that they need. So the department, the drama department is really right now the one that's using Alliance most, but we're really trying to buffer up Alliance to also help with other projects that we have around school that we can't get district or school funding for. So the food pantry, because it is something that's serving the larger community and not just ACHS, that's why we're trying to tap through it with the Alliance, if that makes sense.
It makes sense to use the Alliance 501c3 for sure, but then I saw the drama budget attached, so I just didn't know if this was going to be like a drama sort of led run program or more of an internal school admin program. And then if that's the case, what will happen during the summer months? Will it have to close? Will it move? What's the plan for when school isn't open?
Yeah, I mean, I think this project really gives us the opportunity to continue to provide our students opportunities as well to engage in community service. We have, our goal would be our campus is really thriving all year round, even in the summer when, you know, the students aren't there, there's always something happening there. So that would be a component of our design. Originally, the Alliance was, I know, and Belly is here, it was sort of designed to be sort of the fundraising body for the school. And so it was arts, academics, athletics, and that's sort of slipped away. So the arts really are the one component of the Alliance that is very active. And we are, like they said, trying to relaunch this, like, offering enrichment opportunities for our students and for our community, taking a look at our school-wide program and see what are the other ways we can be involved in ways that the district isn't going to fund for us. So that's why you see the drama budget there, because that's sort of the last remaining entity from when it was very active.
Thank you for that.
Thank you guys for the presentation. I like the idea a lot. I just want to clarify, is this just going to be at the high school, or are you guys planning on maybe like expanding maybe to like help out in like the middle school or like the elementary schools nearby?
Well, right now, the middle school does not have room for an existing food pantry. And so, like I said, we did have one there pre-COVID. Then they remodeled the school, and somehow in the remodeling part of the architectural, the food pantry did not make it on the drawings. So there is no place to actually have one there as of now. Every single office is being used, but we do have Kiwanis Food Pantry right a half a block from here. So, you know, if you think about it, we'll be helping on both sides of American Canyon, right? The west and east, or north or south, however you want to see it.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to clarify. So so the Alliance already exists, and now you're looking to branch out to the food bank. Okay. That's important because this program isn't for startup funds for organizations. So I think it's important to just to highlight that you already exist, and this is a new venture.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when it's the seed money to start that project.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I just want to clarify that, so we're not, because I don't want to. You already exist, and then if we're not, if we have to cut the baby in half. Or you look for money elsewhere? Is that gonna?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything's a gift, so we'll.
And we're not cutting any babies in half, but I just.
Don't want to support that.
Chair, if I can remind everybody, so to make sure that people can hear this meeting in Zoom land, if we can make sure that we're talking into the microphones, including the presenters, please, just so that everyone can hear, because we can all hear it, but people at home can't hear your answers. Thank you.
Thank you for that reminder, and thank you for that wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Joe Coffin with American Canyon Little League, and here with my president, Rob Hall, and Josh Stadler, our vice president. I created a video for you guys to highlight kind of our issue and a little bit about our Little League.
Come on, Dad. Gotta go get the golf cart to prep the fields.
That's right, Alonzo. For the over 300 kids in the community that use this place every season. Ready, Alonzo?
That golf cart looks pretty beat up. Are you sure it's gonna make it?
Uh-oh. I can't even get it running.
Oh.
Alonzo, I don't know what we're gonna do. We host so many community events here. The entire city of American Canyon likes to come out to these. If we can't even get our golf cart running, how will we ever have a baseball season?
Look at all these families that have come here over the years. American Canyon Little League is a cornerstone of our community.
So again, just to kind of highlight our issue, we're requesting money to improve our equipment, which is our golf cart, which we use to prep our fields for all of our games, all of our practices, our community events that we host. Our season begins roughly in February, and we'll bring it all the way through August, during which we have numerous fundraising events and different things out there at the fields. Our current golf cart is no longer operable. It'll take about $3,000 to get it back to like a good running state, $1,500 just to get new batteries so we can actually get it out of the garage this season. So we're asking for $7,000 to hopefully be able to upgrade to something that's actually suited for this type of need that we use. So with $7,000, it'll give us a variety of options, either it being a new golf cart or a utility vehicle that we could use. Certainly if we were awarded that money, we would weigh the options of like going all electric versus something gas, how that benefits the community, how it benefits the city's mission, and all those different aspects. If we're awarded funding, it's going to be overseen by myself, our president, our vice president, and our treasurer, and then we'll obviously make a report back to the committee and back to the city available on how its use is going, and it'll be open for inspection just as all of our facility is year-round. Thank you. Oops.
Thank you very much. Just a quick question about the dollar amount. Is $7,000 the Mercedes EV? Is there a Toyota version of this?
Yeah. So for around $4,000 to $5,000, you can get a gently used golf cart. Something that you'd see at any golf course. For around $6,000, you can get a gently used utility vehicle. If we were looking at like a new utility vehicle, a John Deere Gator, we're $10,000, $15,000. So that's a little bit more than obviously what we would need. They do sell $3,000 to $4,000 range ones, but the issue is going to be coming into maintenance and who would work on it and those sort of things. Our league's 100% volunteer run and staffed. So.
Thank you. And just another quick follow-up question to that. Has anyone in your board reached out to like our local golf courses, local like Eagle Vines, Chardonnay, like get the bed from the hotel sale kind of thing because it's cheaper than buying a new one?
We reached out to our local golf courses first to see if they would be willing to donate a golf cart, and they said no. We also asked for batteries, and they said maybe. But we are working with a vendor. There's one in the city of Walnut Creek, actually, that has a golf repair place. So that's certainly something we would look at if we were awarded this money. How do we get the best bang for our buck?
Thank you.
Well, it's obvious from the looks of that golf cart that really a golf cart isn't what you guys need. You need something heavier duty.
Yep, ideally.
And I just don't know, if you don't get all this money, do you have other fundraisers that you're going to be doing for this project?
We do. We do several fundraisers throughout the year. We have our opening day. We have a hit-a-thon. We have our hoedown dance, which hopefully everybody comes to. It's a very good time. So certainly some of that money will be allocated towards repairing this and getting it up and running.
Thank you for your presentation. I was just wondering, how old or how long have you had that golf cart?
I've been with the league 14 years, and it predates me, so
Wow.
unknown the origin of the date of that golf cart, though.
Yeah. How often do you do field maintenance with the golf carts?
During the season, it's daily, if not multiple times a day when we're hosting tournaments. Off season right now, we should be doing it probably weekly to help maintain the fields, but again, it's non-operable, so that means we're hand dragging the fields at this point. But we use it to shuttle supplies around the fields. We could use it to help people with mobility issues to get out to games. So we use it for a variety of reasons, but several times a week.
Thank you.
Really good video. That was.
Thank you. I was nervous.
I did notice in your budget that you do have a revenue line from the city already, and I wondered if you could, I don't know what, I'm new to Parks and Rec, so is that what's that for? Or where's that money coming from?
Revenue line from the budget's used for.
Yeah, so the revenue line from the city is twofold. The first is for upkeep of the fields, the grass, our landscaper. So the city provides 50% of that per year. The rest of it is on a project base. So the projects we do for improving the facilities, so fencing, safety items, things that are on the field that are more permanent, that's how we get reimbursed for what we spend up to a certain amount each year. We have not used it for things like this that are separate from the permanency of the fields and so forth.
Okay. Thank you.
Are there any other commissioner questions at this time? All right, thank you very much for your presentation.
I have to follow child actors. That's a tough draw right there. Puppies and child actors. Hi, my name is Jaime Gallegos. I'm from the Boys and Girls Club. How you doing? I'm here to show the American Canyon Scholarship Program, or offer an American Canyon Scholarship Program sponsored by the City of American Canyon. Boys and Girls Clubs have been in Napa Valley since 1956. We merged in 2003 with the American Canyon chapter. We serve every day for Boys and Girls Club. We have 3,000 kids enrolled every day after school. We serve 1,800 kids. What I want to talk to you a little bit is about the numbers specific to American Canyon. So if you ask me about total Napa numbers, I might not have those off the top of my head. But in in American Canyon, that's 781 kids that we serve every day after school. 570 of those qualify for a free or reduced lunch program. As American Canyon High School was hinting at earlier, that's 73% of our kids enrolled fall under that population, which means they have trouble paying for the basic standards of food and the after-school programs. In addition to that, Boys and Girls Club, we provide a scholarship program or scholarships for 64 additional kids. That leaves 18% of our population able to pay some form of payment for our after-school program. I want to say that again. Out of the 800 kids that we serve in American Canyon, 18% pay some portion of their after-school programs. So it's a dire need in this city that we're trying to continue after-school programs. We see, I think, across our communities that the cost of living is higher and higher. It's challenging for everybody, and I think in American Canyon specifically, we have a lot of parents that commute out of town for their work. So I think that the after-school programs that are safe, engaging, and offer full enrichment are a great need in this community. So what I want to do is come to the city today to see if they can offer some support to fill the gap. Right now, this school year, that gap has cost Boys and Girls Club $25,000 to fill that gap of kids that require scholarship. If we anticipate the remainder of the school year and the summer program, that gap is going to be $200,000, over $200,000. So what we're looking to do is get community support from the city to help fill that gap for the community that's at need. And again, I want to remind you, that's 81% of our kids can't pay for our after-school program, 81% of 800. I feel like I'm going a little bit quick, but that's the gist of it, and I'd like to take any questions that you have.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I grew up in the Boys and Girls Club in San Francisco, so I know exactly what you all do. I was curious about the number of residents served. It's a specific number,
Very
2,375.
specific. So
Like,
we have a membership database that we pulled all, our families give us their household income size when they do their registration forms. So that's an accurate number for all registered members and their family members in American Canyon.
Thank you very much for that presentation.
Yeah, thank you.
Both my daughters were in Boys and Girls Club, and my oldest daughter worked at the club until she moved away. So thank you for all that you do. Can you explain other funding sources? Because this is a huge gap, $200,000.
Gap, absolutely. A little overview of our funding. So we are a large organization. I'm not going to hide that. We're about an $8.5 million organization. The chunk of our funding comes from Napa Valley Unified School District. They provide about $4.5 million to provide our programs. The remainder gap is raised from our crab feed. It's raised from a gala that we do. It's our philanthropy department constantly going out in the community to raise funds. That's really it.
Do you have a day count? Like, for instance, if you stopped receiving all funding tomorrow, how many operational days would you have?
We do. We have, I believe, 7 months of operational funds in our bank accounts.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the presentation. Just curious, how would you say like your financial need like around this year is like differs from like previous years?
It's a great question. The numbers of students that are qualifying for the free reduced lunch program is increasing every year. That's a 10% increase from last year for the students that are enrolled in our programs, as well as the enrollment. So we're serving more and more kids every year. I said 3,000. Our enrollment, if you look at the end of summer, will be closer to 3,500. And I would anticipate American Canyon specific enrollment will be over 1,000.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I would just like to make a quick comment. I just appreciate everything the Boys and Girls Club has done. I was a part of Boys and Girls Club all throughout elementary school, and it's kind of saddening to see that there's such a gap in like the funding. And I'm just curious, if you don't receive this grant, how much of those students will be capped, or how much of that funding towards those students would be capped?
Yeah, it's our policy. We're never going to deny a child the opportunity to attend our program for inability to pay. We're going to honor that. We are going to continue. We'll go into our reserves. We'll continue to work the community to try to fill that gap. We'll never turn a child away. We never have, and we never will.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Lisa DeRose Hernandez, and I am the Food Resource Director for Community Action Napa Valley. I oversee the food bank and the Meals on Wheels programming. We serve over 15,000 individuals per month and over all of our programming. Tonight, I am focused on putting on the hat for Meals on Wheels. I am humbly asking for $5,000 to increase our meals for our home delivered program. Currently, we are serving 50 home delivered clients, and I would like to add weekend meals due to some, unfortunately, some state funding, federal funding that we had lost. So we would like to please increase weekend meals. We deliver Meals on Wheels on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And currently we are sending out 5 meals throughout the week, and we'd like to increase it to 7. We also serve congregate meals at the American Canyon Activity Center on Thursdays at 11:30 a.m. We, during our home delivered deliveries, we also do Wellness on Wheels, where we do a friendly check-in, and sometimes a lot of our seniors are isolated at home and don't have family members, so we're extra set of eyes and ears out there. Yeah, sorry, I feel like I went really fast tonight. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes, sometimes questions help.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you very much for that presentation and for all that you do
Thank
for our
you.
community. My question is this increasing service for existing seniors, or are there seniors that need service that are currently not getting service?
This is for our seniors that we currently serve. We have enough funding to definitely continue to bring on new seniors, continue our 5 meals per week. I was just hoping to increase to 7 meals per week, so that way they have extra meals for the weekends, because we don't visit them on the weekends. Friday would be our last day until Monday, so that way they could warm up a Saturday meal and a Sunday meal. I'm asking for 5,000. I roughly pay $4.07 per meal, so 1,228 meals is what I would be able to spend it on.
It's nice to be able to eat every day.
Yes, it is. It is. We also do the Silver Fox program. So I'm sorry, I'm a little bit all over. I oversee quite a few different programs. We also serve staple items twice a month to our seniors. So we're doing our best to provide as much as we possibly can. So yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for what you do with our seniors. 50 seems like a small number. Like, is this? I don't know. For what you do, it seems like more would be served. We're starting at 50, and it can grow from there.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
That's just for this, the American Canyon route. We are serving 50 home-delivered meals. It goes up and down, but for the sake of carving out this proposal, I just stuck with the 50. But we oversee, throughout the county, it's at 783 seniors throughout the county. But I was just particular for this grant for the mobile home parks that really are needing extra meals. Yes.
I'm sorry, were we done with the presentation? Or were we going to ask questions? Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
I'd be
thank you.
happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your service to the community. So I just want to make sure, because I was looking over this. Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking over this. So meals, is it breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Or is it just lunch? Or is it, what are the meals consist of, I guess, like?
Sure. Good question. So we have monthly menus that go out, and we call them lunch, but they're more like dinners. They're a solid meals certified from our dietitians to meet the requirements. It could be from chicken. We have pastas. We have salads. I'd be happy to also. I should have uploaded the menus that we also provide. So it would be a main meal. It comes with a fruit, it comes with bread, and it comes with milk. Sometimes it comes with chocolate milk. Just depends on the day of the menu. But we have menus that we send out along with nutrition education topics each month.
Thank you.
Yes. They're flash frozen meals. They'll just pop them in their oven or their microwave. It's, sorry, I should have been more clear. Our senior centers serve hot meals. Our home deliver meals, they're prepared freshly each morning at our Fairfield facility. We partner with Solano Meals on Wheels to get a price per unit at a lower cost. So they're prepared freshly at 5 a.m. and then they're flash frozen for safety. Then we take everything to the Napa Senior Center, and it's our main packaging hub, and we separate all the different routes. We have 17 different routes that go out throughout the county, and then we pack them in insulated bags, and then our volunteers go to all the different routes and deliver the meals to each resident.
Thank you. And do you, does your organization receive matching funds? It wasn't marked on the application, so I just wanted to ask that.
Matching funds. We receive money from through AAA. We have some of our funding. Most of our funding is, I want to say, maybe 60% we get from grants and from state funding and federal funding. The rest is fundraising.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, I believe I put the budget for just Meals on Wheels. It's not the agency, just for Meals on Wheels. Yes.
Do you all do any medically tailored meals for any seniors?
Oh, yes, for sure. If we provide vegetarian or regular meals, we can do puree meals. We can, we work with the hospitals, hospital discharge coordinators. We work with many different entities to make sure that we provide the necessary food that is required, that is needed. Good question.
Thank you very much for all
So-
you're doing. Just a quick logistical question. How are seniors in need identified to your group?
Word of mouth, hospitals, our website, you can go to canby.org. I work with many social workers throughout the county, APS, yeah, many different ways. I receive, and I can, it takes about 24 hours to process the application, and I'll get them going on the next delivery day. We have no waiting, we don't have no wait list, so it's running really well. The criteria is that you have to be 60 years old, and for home delivery meals, to have it sent to their home, you know, a lot of the time they're homebound, so they let us know what their issues are, and then we're able to provide extra resources and referrals to our partner, different agencies that I partner with. It's a lot of different moving parts. And yeah, and the congregate locations, you just have to be 60 and want to go attend and do some programming at the senior centers. Yes.
Who provides your food? Because it seems kind of low, $4.07 per meal. I mean, you can't.
It's Trio Community Meals. Trio Community Meals. So they pretty much bought out all the caterers. That's the last RFP that went out. They were the only ones that put the bid out. They're a great company. They're worldwide, actually. They originally came from across seas, and yeah, they have a kitchen that they just they just opened up last year at the Solano Meals on Wheels in Fairfield. So we do have to go and pick it up, but you can't beat $4.07.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's our cost. That's our cost, you know, just from them. I mean, if I added on admin and all, it would probably be 12 something, but for the sake of invoices and keeping it clean with the grant, I just put the price that I'm using. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners and everyone. I'm Ava Simonson, Associate Director at Community Resources for Children, and I'm joined by Emily Alexander, our Director of Programs. We are here tonight, well, because you asked us to be here, but also we're here asking for this grant because every child deserves a strong start. But some children enter kindergarten without any early learning or preschool experience. That gap can last a lifetime if we don't act early. Our mission is simple but powerful. to equip the adults who care for children with the tools and knowledge they need so every child can thrive and continue to learn. Our programs transform lives in American Canyon, and your investment matters. CRC offers 4 core program areas that make a measurable difference. Childcare assistance. Last year, we helped more than 1,200 children access free or low-cost childcare, 200 of them in American Canyon. Childcare provider education and support. We offer training and wellness groups for caregivers. Childcare business startup support. Since 2021, we have helped 40 childcare providers launch and grow in-home childcare businesses, 8 of them in American Canyon. And early learning programs like Active Minds, which is why we're here tonight. Last year, we strengthened 375 children through our early learning programs. Now I'll let Emily tell you a little bit more about the Active Minds School Readiness Program.
Good evening. Active Minds is an 8-week bilingual school readiness program for children ages 2 to 4. The program is completely free to participating families. Priority enrollment is given to dual language learners and children that may not otherwise have access to quality early learning programs. The program requires caregiver participation, which encourages caregiver education through modeling and weekly teaching cues. Each child participates in pre- and post-developmental screenings, giving families the opportunity for early intervention and support. Families call it inclusive, interactive, and essential for school readiness. Given the opportunity to host Active Minds in American Canyon, we will successfully have 16 children and 16 caregivers empowered by the support of our early learning program. The projected results speak volumes. We anticipate that at least 80% of children will progress in one developmental domain, while caregivers have improved understanding of their child's development, and they will be equipped to implement the skills they learned. Thank you for your consideration in our program.
Take your questions.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Can you go back to the slide where it said the years that you had these classes? So just to, my question would be, it says offered in American Canyon several times over the years. These are the years that it happened, the class happened, 2014, 2020, and 2024. And it says at Napa Junction and the Boys and Girls Club, those were the 2 different locations. They were concurrent, or like in 2020 it happened at one place. Can you just explain that a little bit and the projection for this in the future?
2014, I believe, actually was at Donaldson Way. I'm not sure, that predates me, but it was part of a larger program. 2020 was at the Boys and Girls Club. And then 2024 was at the elementary school. That would be Napa Junction.
So this is not an annual thing. It's an as able to program.
We provide the program every year in Napa, but as needed, we go out into other parts of the community.
And how has the need been identified here?
So in 2024, we worked closely with the Neighborhood Initiative, and they had highlighted, they're the ones who came to us and said that parents are telling them that there's a need. And we also know that there are several grandparents and other family members taking care of young children in American Canyon because there has been a lack of licensed childcare. So this program is really perfect for, a caregiver like that who doesn't necessarily have the background in early education, and they can come and have a very intense 8 weeks and learn the basics of, how to support a child in their developmental growth.
Thank you.
So thank you for being here. This is a great program. So every 8 weeks, Similar question with the numbers, 32 served. So every 8 weeks is another 32 that would come in? Is that what it is?
Our ask tonight is to run one Active Minds program in American Canyon that would serve 16 children and 16 caregivers. If given the opportunity in the future, we would love to host more programs here.
What's the dollar amount that you're requesting for that program?
8,000.
8,000. And then with that, do you anticipate needing that that type of funding to continue the program in American Canyon?
Yes, it's essentially personnel, a little bit of transportation, and some materials for the class. That is the cost because we do the developmental screenings before and after. That takes time and referrals to specialists and then preparing for the classes, class time. And we need at least 2 staff to run the program.
Okay.
Caregivers also leave each session with material that was related to the developmental domain that was covered, and so some of the funding would be used to cover those materials.
Yeah, no, I think it's really, really important work. I guess one thing that's kind of sticking for me, though, your revenues do look quite healthy. So I wonder, is there a reason you couldn't expand into American Canyon by taking from those revenue? And this looks like projected for 2024-25, 268,000.
I mean, we do have unrestricted funding and we have reserves, but as everyone else knows in this room, we don't know what the future holds.
Yeah.
And part of this is also being able to come out here and talk about our program and raise awareness also about the program.
Yeah. No, I think it's really, really important work. I think it really is.
Is there consideration to expanding this program and having it annually in American Canyon in the way that you have it in Napa as part of your general unrestricted funds? Or is this American Canyon grant funded dependent for it to happen here?
I don't think it's dependent on this grant. And I know that with close partnership with the Boys and Girls Club, we would love to do it annually. And in the past, it's just been a matter of finding the right location. And there's a lot of material that we have to store on site because we can't, we have small tables and sensory bins. We can't transport that every week. Our staff, they don't have vans. So we have to make sure we find a location where we can actually store some of the equipment.
Well, we have a community center now. And I did see that you are receiving matching funds from NVCF, which is fantastic. I love the matching funds because that helps you be sustainable. So thank you for your future thought about that.
Thank you guys for the presentation. I'm just kind of curious, what would it mean by parent and caregiver participation required? Is it like they actively participate in the learning programs and things like that?
Yes, the caregiver is present at the program, and it's an opportunity for our early learning specialists to lead by example and teach not only the children present, but the adults as well, which ultimately makes the greatest impact on the child.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. I had a question about the post-developmental screenings and sort of the outcomes of the program. What have you noticed in terms of the improvement from the pre and post?
Sure. 80% of participating children increase in one developmental domain area. There's 5 domains that are screened during the pre and post developmental screening. And those screenings also give us an opportunity to highlight strengths that caregivers might not be aware of or make specialized referrals to community partners if there's a concern.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for all you do and for your presentation.
how to use this. Good evening. My name is Farah, this is Carla, and this is Sophie, and together we are Friendors. We wanted to share our vision for our Manila Munchies Filipino Festival. As some of you may know, we just closed out our second annual Manila Munchies event this past October during Filipino American Heritage Months. We brought in over 4,000 people, that doesn't include kids, this year, in comparison to just under 1,000 people in 2024, which was our first year. American Canyon is one of the most diverse cities in Napa County, and yet many cultural groups, like our Filipino community, have limited opportunities to visibly share our heritage in a way that brings everyone together. Manila Munchies fills that gap. It's not just a food festival, it's a bridge between cultures, generations, and local businesses. This festival creates a space where families can enjoy authentic Filipino food, music, art, and performances, while also learning about traditions that have shaped so many of our residents. When we celebrate culture, we strengthen community, identity, belonging, and pride. That sense of representation matters, especially for the youth growing up here. Beyond culture, the Manila Munchies Filipino Festival is designed to stimulate our local economy. We partner with small businesses, kids commerce, food vendors, artisans, and performers. By giving them an accessible, high-traffic platform, we help them gain customers, earn income, and grow. Friendors has always been about supporting small businesses and giving back to the community. The festival also serves as a gathering place that attracts both residents and visitors from surrounding cities. This encourages tourism and highlights American Canyon as a vibrant, culturally rich community. It aligns perfectly with the city's vision for community enrichment and economic vitality. Giving back is at the core of what we do. Friendors have always reinvested into the community through fundraising at our local schools to creating events for small businesses. We have now gone further into our efforts into giving back, and through Manila Munchies and our Kamayan event, we are projecting to give back $7,000 to schools, organizations, and other nonprofits. Our Fund a Need grant is still in the process, but we are looking to fund the requests of over 25 applicants. Majority of them are from American Canyon schools, most of them from ACHS. Through Manila Munchies, we are able to provide this amazing opportunities for the next generation. Ultimately, Manila Munchies is about unity, bringing people together through food and culture while giving back. It's full circle. It takes a lot of money to put on a festival, a large festival, and with your support, we can make this festival a signature event for American Canyon, one that reflects the diversity, creativity, and generosity of the people who live here. And we have a video if we have time, but
You have,
recap.
you have 6 seconds.
6 seconds, so never mind. Never mind. Just
3
go on
seconds.
Instagram. I even timed it.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I'll just play the pictures.
okay. You can just see the pictures. We can answer questions.
I have a question.
Yes.
How long is your video?
A minute.
Can you play it?
Yes. How do we play it? I don't know.
It's not working. Can you help us?
Sorry. It just says next slide, but it doesn't show.
Oh, is it?
Oh. Sorry. Yeah, so you can go on our Instagram.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Thank you for your presentation. What other fundraising are you guys doing to hold these wonderful community festivals?
So we're actually a new nonprofit. We actually started doing fundraising prior to becoming a nonprofit, and that's why we became a nonprofit, because we did Friendors mini market at Tractor Supply, so we brought in a lot of small businesses here in American Canyon. So we did it, I think, a couple months. I think it was November, December, and January. But it would rain, so it wasn't, you know, the weather. And so we did that. We had a Kamayan event where we brought in a famous comedian, and our guest was able to eat Kamayan style if they wanted to, which is eating with your hands. So it was a nice little cultural event for the people that came. So we did bring in funds from there. What else did we do? And we do a lot of fundraisers with schools. So we've worked with every school here in American Canyon. We talk with the schools and bringing our local food trucks and even our local retail to come in with their current events, like back to school night, things like that. And from there, all of our vendors provide a percentage back to the schools. So, for example, we've had one, it was just track. We brought in like $1,500 just for one meat. So we do things like that to giving back to the community.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Just to confirm, this is a one event that you're requesting funds for?
Yes.
Okay, and the date, it's next year, next October?
Yes.
Okay,
It'll be every second Saturday in October.
okay.
So you did the event this year as well, right? Or what was the cost of the event for this year?
It cost us, I think, almost $30,000.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty significant. And then you're asking for, is it 10?
10.
10, yeah.
10 or whatever you want to give us. We're not picky.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. What would you say is like the biggest impact from the donations that you give to like these Filipino communities? What do you think the biggest impact is for them?
So our first, we funded American Canyon Middle School. The middle school did not have a Filipino club. They did when they first opened, and then it just kind of died down. So this year we funded them with $1,000 to start their club, and they have been coming together to what do they do? They like created paroles. They have meetings where they bring in Filipino food. They're doing the caroling, I think, next week. Yes, so they will be doing caroling next week at the middle school. So they definitely use the funds to bring in the Filipino culture and to teach, the kids at the middle school the Filipino culture.
That's awesome. Thank you.
But can I say, it's not just to the Filipino community. We also are giving back to like the high schools. Like a lot of the coaches have asked for funds. Special ed had asked for funds. So it's not just the Filipino community that we're giving back. Our whole goal is to give back to the entire community.
Thank you for that presentation and all you're doing for our community.
You're welcome.
Good evening. My name is Corinne Pampanella, and I'm the Executive Director and also a coach with Girls on the Run North Bay. This past fall at American Canyon Middle School, our coaches watched something remarkable happen. A girl named Melanie joined our program for the first time. She joined a group of girls who had been together for years through Girls on the Run. At an age where clicks are everything and new girls get sized up in seconds, instead of the usual social maneuvering, these girls made space for her immediately. They invited her to share in their circle and partnered with her during our lessons. They listened and cared about what she had to say. This wasn't accidental kindness. This is what they learned through Girls on the Run, showing up in real time. That's what we do here. We teach girls that make moments like this possible. Girls on the Run is an 8-week after-school program that combines physical activity with lessons in emotional regulation, confidence, and leadership. When a girl faces a difficult test, a friendship conflict, or a grown-up conflict, she has tools like five-finger breathing to manage the moment instead of being overwhelmed by it. Girls practice sticking up for others in real scenarios. They learn to recognize their own strengths. We do this intentionally in small groups because we're creating a safe space where girls can express themselves fully at an age when that's becoming harder and harder to do. As a coach, I see the immediate changes, like Ari from Canyon Oaks, who couldn't make eye contact at the start of the season, now raising her hand, not just in our circles, but in her classrooms. Shy girls become community leaders and coaches themselves. Many make lasting friendships. But parents tell the deeper story. One dad mentioned, "My daughter's grades are better when she's in Girls on the Run." Another simply said, "I need my girl in Girls on the Run because she's happier." That word, happier, tells me everything about what these girls carry into for the rest of their lives. We serve over 800 participants annually across Napa, Solano, and Sonoma counties, and in the past 20 years, over 19,500 participants collectively. These are our future leaders. If there is even one lesson they pick from the many in our program, we know we are making a lasting positive impact. These girls realize they're part of something bigger, a community. They make a difference. These lessons stay with them. We saw it on Melanie's group. We see it in American Canyon playgrounds, in homes, and classrooms. Last year, 75% of our participants received financial assistance. Your support ensures that every girl in American Canyon who needs this community has access to it. Thank you for considering Girls on the Run for this grant. We're working, the work we're doing here matters, and we're grateful for partners who believe in it.
So is this a typo, or are you asking for the whole $30,000? Or should everybody else just go home?
We are just asking for as much as we can. That's, we will take any part of that, though.
What does it cost for one girl?
Well, the registration cost for one girl is $225. The cost, including operations and everything, is well over $400.
Per girl.
Per girl.
Okay, thank you. Oh, sorry. And how many girls in Girls on the Run in American Canyon?
Well, we would probably have 15 girls in each elementary school per season. And so each season, we run in spring and we run in fall. So if we had 2 seasons in a year, and we were in 5 of the elementary and middle schools, which is where Girls on the Run is supported, that would be that number, the 15 times the 75 girls per season. So 150.
I'll do the math.
Yeah.
Thank you for your presentation and all that you do for the community. So what potential obstacles or challenges do you anticipate during the process? And what are your contingency plans, excuse me?
The process of running the program? Well, volunteerism is one thing, because our mentors, we train them, and but they are the ones that are there that are coaching our girls as well. So, but we also have our staff that supports them through the program and the 8 weeks that they're together. In terms of contingency, if you're speaking out towards funding contingencies, we have partnerships where we're, also asking for grants throughout the community. We have a partnership with NVUSD also, but like a few other organizations here have vocalized, and it's not guaranteed. And so when we're looking at next school calendar year, we're trying to just also be, managing our risk here.
Thank you so much for your presentation. And one question I've had is, have you had any efforts to collaborate or reach out to the local American high school track and cross-country teams?
We have before. We have talked about with American Canyon High School. We've talked to several high schools. We do have junior coaches as well. And sometimes that works out. Sometimes it's challenging with regards to their schedules as well, because we do run after school in the elementary schools. But that is definitely something that we often are approaching for coaches.
Do you provide scholarships?
We provide, in terms of the financial assistance, that's sort of what we are kind of calling our scholarships, and about 75% of our families do end up requesting that, and that's what we offer. So we don't turn anyone away if money is a challenge for them. So we will support them.
Thank you.
Sorry, you mentioned volunteers. Is it a volunteer-led organization, or is it? I'm not clear on that point.
It's the coaches are volunteers. However, the organization itself is not volunteer-led. There's paid staff on the
people who train the coaches, or
yes, we do train the coaches.
Okay.
Yes. We vet them as well as train them. So not everyone is meant to be a coach. And so that is our first line of review, and then we'll go ahead and train them once we deem that they're a good fit for our organization.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have an identified funding gap for continuing to run the program in American Canyon?
Not an explicit one at the moment. So we are as sort of addressing a similar question with regards to the sustainability piece of it, and we have a good relationship with Napa as a county as well as NVUSD, and so in a lot of ways we are hoping that funding will continue. However, I think there's also room for growth and also for us to expand in areas of American Canyon, and just because we have one group of 15 girls doesn't mean we can't have two. And so we're always thinking about how can we impact more girls within the American Canyon community. And so this is really an opportunity for us to continue to grow and have that support.
Thank you for having that growth mindset.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just to confirm, elementary and middle school girls are who you serve currently?
Correct. So we have two programs. We have one that addresses girls in 3rd through 5th grade. And then we have another one called Heart and Soul, which is adapted more towards teenagers, 6th through 8th grade. And so we know that girls are developing it with different needs. And so the curriculum itself, which is also recognized by the Harvard School of Education in the past, it's an international curriculum, it takes that into account.
Thank you very much for your presentation and for all the work you're doing.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Aryan Sharma. I'm a current junior in high school, and I'd like to talk to you all about GRASP. So GRASP is the Green Tech Research and Sustainability Program. Right now we are currently working on vertical farming, which is a cutting edge type of agriculture, and we also want to move into nitrate and water quality as well as a future goal, which kind of aligns with the American Canyon high-strength waste management program as well. So, so 80% of global deforestation has been contributed by agriculture, and a lot of this is due to conventional methods of agriculture that have not been updated as time has moved on. So our goal is to bring and educate the youth on new types of agriculture and also empower them. So it requires modern technology and education and implementation of this technology into local communities. So let's talk about hydroponic vertical farms. They use significantly less resources than conventional farming and increase agricultural productivity. So vertical farming is kind of stacking up plants and allowing them to several plants to grow per a certain square unit. So you're increasing the amount of plant growth and also decreasing the cost of that food. And hydroponics is a method of farming that does not use any soil. So it saves nutrients and saves water as well in the process. So here's an example of what we've done. On the left side is a project that we've done in India, a region that does use and need this type of modern agriculture. We set up this farm in the school and then talk to the students about it and educate them on it. And then after the program is over, the students continue to grow the plants and can even consume them afterwards. On the right side, this is an example of a large-scale vertical farm that uses hydroponics in California. So this is the type of technology that is growing in size, and we would like to implement it in local communities. So our goals are twofold. Number one, we want to do community engagement through hosting lessons on this topic and providing the technology to schools, community centers, and other sources where the community can grow together using this technology. And in terms of empowerment, we want students to continue to grow these crops after our talks are over so that they can see how sustainable agriculture can power the future and also be a part of the process as well. So American Canyon is uniquely situated around a lot of agriculture, making this industry very useful for students. So as part of this, we want students to have access to this kind of high-end technology so they can get used to it and see it as a proper goal for the future. So here are some of our pilot projects. We've done this both virtually and in person. We've had school-wide assemblies and classroom discussions on how this technology works. And both of these schools that we've shown here, as I mentioned before, we started this in India, and both of these schools that we've shown here, both are still growing crops to this day, even months and years after the process, and they're now selling this as well. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for being here. I attempted to build an aquaponics tank, and I failed dramatically. So I need some lessons from you all. This is a great program. I had no questions. I just wanted to say that this is a great program.
Thank you.
Do you have any farms here or is it just training? And do you have anything set up in this town or in this community?
Not yet. This would be the first time, and that's why I wanted to bring it to you guys.
And where's Irvine?
Where's Irvine? Oh, Irvine it's in Southern California.
Thank you for your presentation. That was really interesting. How will you monitor your progress and evaluate the success throughout the grant period?
Yeah, so we want to continue to work directly with the schools even after we go and set it up. This is what we've been doing for our 2 schools that we work with so far. So with those ones, they've sent us photos, videos, and we've gone there to see their progress as well, both virtually and in person. So we've been able to monitor how many plants they're growing, what kind of crops they're using, but our vision is to see schools where students are able to grow crops sustainably and also consume them later. So then they're getting like healthy food that's made in a sustainable process, and they're able to see how they can apply this in the future in their own careers.
Well, then, how will you ensure that the project's activities continue, after the grant period?
Yeah, so obviously, we don't want to force students to go and have to try to grow these crops if they don't necessarily want to. We hope that this comes from the school administration and faculty. Obviously, we're setting up these farms in the schools, and I guess to make sure that progress continues, we can continue to go to these schools and talk about it. We always start by sending them seeds and nutrients to grow the initial crops, and we can continue to do that too to motivate them to do that. But in general, a lot of this is going to come from our collaboration with the schools and seeing how the schools can be benefited by this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. I liked it. How many students or like people would you say are like currently interested in a project like this?
Yeah, so in terms of interest, obviously, we want to work with students of different ages. So maybe students that are elementary schools might not even know about sustainable agriculture or things like that. So it's kind of hard to quantify it, but I would say that in the current schools that we have worked with, which would be around 2,000 students in total across both schools, what we've seen is that we've seen students that may have not been in the initial educational assembly coming to the farm because it's such a unique thing. So it's, as I mentioned, it's kind of hard to quantify, but we would say that even if students might have not been to the initial session where we were talking about it, the interest kind of grew over time because they're able to see how this applies to the school and how they're getting benefited by it.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you.
So then where did the number 4,000 come up with for the estimated residents to be served?
Oh, the number 4, that was based on the number of total students in American Canyon. Obviously, I think I want to clarify this slide a little bit because it says 10 plus schools. This is our goal for the end of 2026 in total. For American Canyon, obviously, I'm pretty sure there are 5 schools, like 3 elementary, 1 middle, and 1 high school, if I'm not incorrect. So that's where that number kind of comes from. And then the $15,000 budget, obviously, we're willing to accept less or more, but that's for the entire end of 2026 as well.
How were the community members, including the parents and children, how were they involved in planning this project?
Yeah, so we started by initially just reaching out to the schools, and then over time, when we met with students and faculty at sessions, that's when we were able to communicate with the students directly, and then also the parents about sustainable agriculture, why it matters, and how they can get involved. Because of course, obviously the future generations should be focused on sustainability and environmental care, but getting parents involved and getting parents knowledgeable about these kind of topics and why it matters is important too. So in our previous, just kind of explain that, in our previous programs, we first started by working with the schools, and then we expanded to talk to the students and the parents during our sessions as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. I really admire your dedication as a young leader. And a question I had for you, I know you're focusing initially on building it at the schools, but do you have any plans to work with any local American Canyon organizations, such as like our conservation organizations, environmental sort of nonprofits?
Yeah, so we wanted to start by working with the schools because that's kind of what we've done in the past, so we're more comfortable with that. And then over time, we want to also go to community centers, local gardens, conservation organizations, as you said, because vertical farms and hydroponics, they aren't a technology that needs to happen in a school. It can happen as long as there's a community that's willing to support it, willing to learn from it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. It's very interesting and intriguing. It reminds me of going to Epcot as a child. So has your group been able to connect with Napa Valley Unified School District on this project?
We've been in contact with several school districts, Napa Valley included, but we have not started this program in Napa Valley Unified School District yet. So we're still in contact. Yeah.
Okay. And what is the cost of this program at, say, for instance, one school?
Yeah, so the cost of the program is probably going to be around, I would say maybe $500 to $1,000 per school. But this is all landed cost. It's not like the farm would not really need to be maintained in a significant cost. It would mostly just be making sure the water's circulating and keeping the plants growing. And additionally, there's also some benefit from getting plants that students can eat as well. But I guess the initial cost for one session would be around that $500 to $1,000 range.
Thank you very much. And I'm just really curious. I mean, we all love American Canyon for so many reasons, but how did you find us?
Yeah, so actually, my dad has been working with American Canyon through his software company. So I heard about this grant as well, and I knew that, and I visited Napa Valley before and seen all like the beautiful farmland and all the prospects that could be applied in terms of vertical farming. I think Southern California is a good area where agriculture and sustainable agriculture is starting, but I just wanted to bring this to the youth in other areas as well and get more people interested in it.
Thank you very much.
you.
Appreciate it.
So you're a junior, and is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm a junior in high school right now.
Junior in high school. That's very, very impressive.
Thank you.
It's really impressive. So understanding you're a junior, and then but you're down in Southern California, right?
Yeah.
So I guess my question is, if a partial grant was awarded, does it make sense from an efficiency perspective for you to come up to set up 1 or 2 schools? Do those numbers work, or do you need like a minimum?
I think we'll be willing to take whatever we can get, and I think that the $15,000 is for the entire school year for 10 schools. Obviously, in American Canyon, the maximum would probably be around 5. So I would say that the actual budget for this would be more like $7,000 at a max, I would say. So partial budgets, partial funding, anything would be great. Yeah.
And then, so for I think, of course, this type of farming is probably the future, right? I think that's probably obvious. Could you grow enough food at the high school to support the food bank?
Yeah, so I mean, I think that could be a possibility. Obviously, let me go back to one of the previous photos. So this is what vertical farming kind of looks like.
Uh-huh.
If we were to work with one high school, we'd probably set up a unit on the left of that size. So to support a full food bank, I'm not completely sure. I would have to look at what kind of units we can bring to the school, the capabilities of the school as well, because there's some like power costs associated with the farm as well.
Yeah.
So, but I think that could be a future prospect for sure. I'd be really excited to do that.
Yeah, I personally think there's good synergy there, because it's it works with the food bank, and we're educating future leaders. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation and for the future of farming.
Thank you so much.
Helping Hands Indo-American is not present tonight.
Good evening. My name is Pat Randolph, and I am the Executive Director of Incredible Blessings for You. We are a mobile pantry distribution. We are here in American Canyon now, 3 days per month. And we're also in Vallejo 4 times per month. We have innovative food approach as we have a mobile pantry. So if there's a barrier for getting to a different location or coming to a brick and mortar, we come to you. So all we need is air and opportunity and some money for food. And we're there. And it's like you're shopping, like if you had a $500 bill in your hand and you walk through, everything's set up like a grocery store, but you don't have to pay any money. And that's what we do. And we've served almost 10,000 people here in American Canyon this year, and we're still going. So food insecurity is real. If no one believed it, the government shutdown made everybody a believer. So we were all scrambling as pantries trying to find more food resources, especially during the holidays. Thanksgiving, Christmas coming up, still scrambling. But we are making it happen. We have a lot of community members who are in kind of like the gap where you have a job, you're working, but you still don't have enough for basic needs. You're making decisions whether you're going to pay for housing, medical, or any other need, and just don't have it. So we're here to meet that need. We're hoping to launch a new component to what we're already doing called Wellness on Wheels. And what it is we're going to have a licensed nurse practitioner, and she will do wellness checks, medication checks, school sports physicals, just all kind of stuff, blood pressure checks. We already have a senior program in Vallejo. That's where I'm at every Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock. That's so the seniors have some food to take their medicine with. They said that's a good time. So I'm there at 8 o'clock, serving over 140 people, and also delivering door to door to 40 homebound. Oh, that was quick, good. Okay. And let's see, I don't even know what else I want to say. But I'll take whatever questions you have. If you don't have any, I'm okay with that.
Thank you for your, thank you for being here, and thank you for your service to the community. So how will the grant money be spent if you receive partial funding? And then which elements would have to be cut?
Well, if we receive partial funding, what I had proposed was a 6-month pilot program in which we would hopefully be able to open a pantry at the high school, as well as the wellness for the senior program. I don't know which one we would cut because I don't like cutting. So whatever, we would have to pull a rabbit out of a hat and make something work. But we're good. So I think I could do something.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I love the idea of health screenings and sports physicals. Sometimes it's very difficult to sneak your kid in for that physical so that you can meet the school deadline so they can sign up for those sports activities. So having that here in American Canyon is a great idea. I also love the nurse practitioner. I did see her line item, and she must be a very close friend of yours to volunteer her time. I'm a nurse, so that she's essentially working for free, which is amazing. I do have a question though. When she does the screenings, and then if it's identified that someone is having something happen with their physical health that they need urgent care, what does that process look like for your group?
Well, she is actually working in some Fairfield schools doing the school physicals. So she already has everything, already has her protocol items in place, and she's going to do whatever she does. I should have had her come.
So she's on site at the schools. She's not traveling around to homes.
She's not going to homes. She will be joining us in the mobile pantry. Wherever we travel, she'll be going with us to tend to seniors, and also, if we're able to get into the schools, to try to get hydration, nutritious meals, try to get that because that makes kids can work better. When they're full, when they've eaten the proper foods, when they're hydrated, they can perform better. All that works hand in hand, and she's really good at it.
Thank you.
So do you currently operate in American Canyon, or this is an expansion?
Yes, we are in American Canyon. We have 2 distributions at Summerfield, what used to be Canyon Creek. And we have one at Fairgrounds Mobile Estates. We're there the 3rd Wednesday, and I did bring handouts, but I guess you guys didn't get them. But yeah, we are here 3 times. We would like to expand to the senior program. We've had some requests and just some information that was given to us about some senior projects that I didn't even know anything about. But I'd love to give it a try because our mobile senior pantry in Vallejo is wonderful. Great reviews. And we are also at one elementary school as of last week. because they contacted us and said that they needed food for some of their students. They have students that are in shelters, students that are living in motels, hotels, wherever. So now we are doing what I call a share table. And once a week, I go there and I leave food, like a huge crate of potatoes and onions. We had carrots, we had oranges, whatever I have left over from my other Tuesday and Wednesday distribution goes to that school. And also we have another senior facility that I do the share table at. And it's just, we leave it there and they help themselves.
So how much, so so this is, it's 10,000 for 6 months, so that'd be 20,000 for the year. Do you have other sources of funding?
Well, this would be our pilot program. I didn't think that the American Canyon had such a big demand. I live in American Canyon, and there are some elements that you see in other cities that you don't see in American Canyon. So I was thinking, well, I don't know if it's gonna work. It's working, and it's growing. The lines are growing, and we're quick. Everybody likes it because everything, it's set up like a grocery store. You just walk down the aisle, pick what you want. Everything's already bagged. The potatoes are in a bag. Onions are in a bag. I have an incredible team that we make sure everything's clean, not rotten, not dirty, and bagged, and you just walk through and shop. It's amazing. So, yeah, I don't know what I would do. I don't know about that 20 Gs. Sounds good, though.
Well, thank you for everything you do. It's really, really important. Thank you.
Thank you.
What is the process, to ensure that individuals who need this service, can access?
Usually what happens is somebody will contact me and say, have you been here? This person needs food, or I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. Somebody knows me and will say, hey, Pat, this person needs food. So I'll answer, post wherever, and I'll go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you guys still awake? It's a long night for you guys, I know. All right. Good evening, Chair, Commissioners, and staff. My name is Elizabeth Goff, and I am here on behalf of the Mimi Wrights Literacy Foundation, a new nonprofit dedicated to expanding children's literacy and making reading joyful and personable for young readers. Our project is called the When I Grew Up Kindergarten Book Project. The goal is simple: to inspire early reading confidence and give every kindergartner at Donaldson Way Elementary a moment of pride by placing themselves inside a real published book. Here's how the project works. We will partner with the 3 kindergarten classes at Donaldson Way. Each child will be illustrated as a character and will share a few sentences about what they want to be when they grow up. These pages will be combined into a professionally printed classroom book, and every child will receive their own personal copy to take home. This project supports several important community needs. First, it strengthens early literacy. Young children are more engaged and more confident when they see themselves represented in books. Many children rarely get that experience. Second, it builds belonging and self-expression. Kindergarten is a foundational year where identity and confidence begin forming. Being featured in a book helps children feel proud of who they are and what they dream of becoming. Third, it supports families. Parents will receive a meaningful keepsake that encourages reading at home and sparks conversations about future goals. Fourth, It builds a great school community tool for teachers. The book helps them learn more about their students and strengthens classroom connection. And finally, this project brings in a unique component. American Canyon High School volunteers will help with the character illustrations. This gives our high school students meaningful volunteer experience while building real-world creative skills. It also connects older and younger students within the community in a positive way. Our timeline is simple and manageable. January and February, we will get parent permissions, collect student photos and descriptions, and begin illustrations. March through April, we will draft layouts and finalize book content. In May, we're going to send the books to print. And in June, we'll be delivering the books to students and completing our post-project assessment. This grant will allow us to offer the project completely free to families and the school while helping us build a scalable model we hope to expand to all 3 elementary schools in future years. In just one pilot project, we will reach 120 students, involve our teenagers in a meaningful volunteer work, strengthen early literacy, and give kindergartners a joyful and lasting memory of who they are and who they dream to become. Thank you for considering our application. I have sent samples of some of the books your way, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have at this time. And just for the audience, this is what one of the books looks like. And just a sample of illustrations. This is actually a book by Mimi, who is a grandmother, and this is one of her grandchildren. And this is what the setup of the book will be. So every kindergartner will have one page illustrated that looks like them and what they want to be when they grow up and what they said about what they want to be. So they'll have that, and the whole class will be represented in a book. Any questions?
So
Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
thank you. That's great because it keeps them off of their phones and into books.
Kindergarten, I hope they don't have phones.
What is the cost per book? Do you know?
Cost per book is anywhere between $3 and $5 per book.
Okay. And that's
It's through Google
printing
Publishing.
and everything?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay.
The writing and the illustrations will all be volunteer.
Okay.
Thank you for coming.
Of course.
I'm a new grandmother, and so I find myself looking at more personalized gifts.
Yes.
I'm drawn to that. So what are your long-term strategies for sustaining this project after the grant period ends?
Right. So this foundation, Amy, actually came about because the author was creating these books for her grandchildren, and she had so many requests from family and friends that she realized that she could actually kind of spread the love and encourage literacy with our youngest learners. So our hope is that through the sale of personalized books, from people who have requested books from her, as well as donations to the foundation. Again, brand new foundation. This is a pilot program, and so we're really starting with you guys as far as grants to sustain it. So then every kindergartner in American Canyon will walk out of their kindergarten with kind of a memory of their class and who they were back then.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you very much for your presentation.
Of course.
I was really looking forward to this one.
Oh, good.
It's the Little League video was cute, but this is
very
cutest.
Cute. So I hope that they've made it down. Teresa did make books for the City of American Canyon for when the younger students come and visit. And if you look through them, you will recognize employees of the city in those books.
My question is, what is your bandwidth for this pilot program? And
right.
Does it have to be limited to one elementary school, or does your group have the bandwidth to do it at all 3?
Right. The goal is to do it at all 3, but it was causing a high level of stress because especially when you're working with young children, we want parents to feel really good about letting us take an image of their child and trusting us that we're going to just use it for this project, as well as recruiting our high school students. We have probably some of the most talented students in the Valley, if not in the world. So I've just started recruiting some of those students. We're hoping to have at least 6 in each of the elementary schools, which means we'll need 18 volunteers. We want to make sure that we do it right the first year, work with the school, work with the principal, work with the teachers, and have everybody feel really good about it, especially with the students coming in, the older students coming in. The other reason we want to keep it kind of small is if we really want to build it with the students at the high school, we need to give a really good positive experience the first year to those high school volunteers. And the way we do that is to be very focused and small, and really have them walk away with a great feeling. So maybe they'll tell 2 friends and it will build, so we can build the capacity. We don't want to overwhelm those volunteers with too many jobs, too many illustrations that first year. We really want to kind of keep it small so they feel like they can handle it. Again, our high schoolers are very busy, as you guys know. They are involved in a lot of things. They do have the community hours, service hours, a requirement. A lot of them fulfill it their first year because that's the kids in this town. So we really want to make sure that we take care of them as well.
Thank you.
Sure.
This is a wonderful program.
Thank you. I love it
Thank
too.
you.
I'm very excited
So
about it.
there were 2 sizes. There was a small book.
Yes, this will be the size of the book.
There was a smaller one.
Yes, there is a smaller one.
So each kid.
Yes, that's the pamphlet
Yes.
that was made for the
in your
visitors.
binder.
For the
Okay.
kid
This
visitors.
is in your binder.
Yes.
Each kid would have their own page in the book, or one
Right.
of these smaller books.
They would
themselves?
have their own page, so the book would be, would start probably, I'm assuming, with a little intro with their teacher, and then every single page would have one student with an illustration of maybe they want to be an astronaut, so they're in space, and then, Johnny wants to be an astronaut because he wants to touch stars, just whatever they say, will kind of quote the child, so they have it, right? And then, of course, we can't make these without leaving some for the teacher and maybe the school library, right, to kind of inspire other kids. Yeah, sure.
Thank you for the presentation. I love the idea so much. I don't have kids or grandkids.
I hope not.
But
Charles.
I love the idea. I was just curious, like, how do I put it? Like, how would you say, like, these books would, like, encourage, like, reading confidence and stuff like that?
Yes. So a lot of, I know, Charles, you probably didn't have this problem, but some of our students never see themselves in the pages of a book. They just never relate to that. As a former teacher, I've spent a lot of time trying to find that one book that a student connects with that will get them reading. If we can connect a kindergartner to a book, that they can open a book and they can see themselves in it, they're going to be more encouraged to open another book. And that's the trick. If we don't get them in kindergarten, it's really difficult. In fact, studies show that if kids aren't reading on their own and enjoying it by 3rd grade, probably have lost them. So it's really, really important to grab those kindergartners when they're sponges already and they're excited and joyful about learning, and show them that the whole world is out there and they can be a part of it.
Thank you.
This isn't a question, but rather a comment. I would just appreciate all the work you're doing, and I think it's amazing that you're providing this opportunity for kindergartners to see themselves and enjoy reading. I know my younger cousin, she just wants to play on my phone all day, so it'd be nice to see her reading those books and seeing herself in those books and representation as well. And I love the whole high school component, and I'm really excited to see
I
how
am
it
too.
works out.
I will tell you that I am only the face of this tonight. The person behind this is actually the talented person who brought this to me and asked me to help her with this. So I take no credit for the work that goes into this. I'm just here to promote it because I, like you, think it's a wonderful idea. And I think it's just something that these kids are never going to get rid of. When I was a teacher, I had students buddy up with a kindergarten class, and my 7th graders made books for the kids, for their buddy. And when I went to the high school, I happened to have a class where they said, I remember my buddy. And every single one of them still had their book that their buddy had made them. And so that, I knew the power of the books was really incredible. So it's something they can hang on to. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions for me? No? Everybody's good?
Thank you
Awesome,
very much
awesome.
for your
Thank you so
presentation.
much. Have a good night.
Thank you. My name is Jill Jorgensen, and I'm with Molly's Angels, a volunteer-based nonprofit providing free services for older adults. Molly Bands began fundraising in her fish and chips restaurant with a pickle jar, founding the nonprofit in 1999. Our mission is to help seniors remain safe, independent, and connected to their community. In American Canyon, that need is significant. We currently serve 70 seniors in this city. Many no longer drive, live alone, or have little family support. Public transportation options are limited, and affordable transportation is extremely hard to find. For many, that means missed medical appointments, growing isolation, and serious health decline. Molly's Angels fills this critical gap to ensure seniors stay healthy, connected, and safe in their homes. So far this year, for American Canyon alone, we provided 209 free rides covering over 4,000 miles in and out of county for medical appointments. A little under 200 weekly care calls were made to seniors, reducing isolation and supporting their mental well-being. You can see the seniors here are veterans. They have disabilities. They may speak a primary language other than English. A substantial percentage live alone, and over half of the seniors we serve are low income. These numbers reflect a real and growing community need. Funding from the City of American Canyon will allow for expansion and increase of our services, recruitment and support of local volunteers. We currently have 6 volunteers at Molly's Angels who reside here, and all but one are seniors themselves. The benefit to American Canyon residents is immediate and direct at no cost to the senior. Access to essential care they might miss, regular check-ins to make sure they're safe and supported, and most importantly, peace of mind for families knowing their loved ones are not alone. The program creates meaningful opportunities for American Canyon residents to get involved and build connections across generations. Helen, an 85-year-old American Canyon resident, is a caregiver for her bedbound husband who is 98. She could not be here tonight because it was too late, but she did ask that we share. I wouldn't be able to get to my appointments without Molly's Angels. The volunteers are such loving people, especially when facing difficult medical appointments or just difficult life. They are a true blessing and always lift my spirit. American Canyon's senior population continues to grow and their needs are increasing. With your support, we can ensure that no older adult in this community is left without access to essential care, transportation, and connection. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that presentation. Is this is the funding needed to fill a gap?
There is a gap in our budget for next year, as a lot of nonprofits have. We're 70% federally funded, and we do have confirmation of sunsetting funding, as well as local foundation grants that will not continue for next year. So we will be operating in a deficit, but that doesn't mean we won't operate in American Canyon. We don't turn seniors away if they need a ride.
And these funds will be allocated for American Canyon residents?
Correct. And it's not just for the 70 that we serve, it would be to increase outreach because there's more than 70 seniors here in American Canyon, so hopefully increase that and be able to get the word out about our free services.
Thank you. I was driving home from Napa today and I actually saw a little Prius with the Molly's Angel magnet on it.
Oh, nice.
How are our seniors here in American Canyon made aware of this program? Is it through their hospital, their medical provider?
Yeah, through a variety of ways, sometimes through social workers or doctor's offices who know about our services. A lot of our seniors tend to be on the older age. They're not this incoming wave, so they don't have cell phones, so they're not exposed to online. So they learn about our services, you know, through newspaper, a lot through word of mouth, and a lot just through actual neighbors, like in mobile home parks, the word gets around. So it's not uncommon that a lot of neighbors utilize the services. Thanks.
Just a question. You guys provide transportation services. Do you also provide, like, when you get to the location, like, are you helping the seniors into their appointment, waiting for them while they have their appointment, that kind of thing?
So when we book the appointment with the senior, we ask for approximate duration. So if it's a longer appointment, like maybe a long cancer treatment, we might split that into one way, so find one volunteer and then a different one to take them home. But for the most part, for general appointments, it's really a one-on-one, door-to-door service. So the volunteer drives their own vehicle, picks up the senior at their home, waits for them, and then takes them home. So it's really a trusted service with a volunteer they can trust versus utilizing a service that might be unreliable or have a cost.
And it sounds like this is for seniors who are independently mobile but not driving themselves?
Correct. The volunteer transportation is that way, but we also offer paratransit services. There is a percentage of seniors here in American Canyon, 14%, who utilize paratransit. So that means they're confined to a wheelchair of any type, so they can't use a volunteer driving. So we have our own paratransit van, but it does have capacity based on the weight and what type of wheelchair. So in that case, this is where these funds would be helpful, is we also partner with a third-party vendor that's trained, that has a proper vehicle, and can accommodate any kind of wheelchair and even gurneys if they need it. So those rides do have a cost for us, so those have a variety depending on location and destination.
So you partner with that company and then the service is free to the senior and you pay them probably like a negotiated reduced rate. Is that how that kind of works?
Correct. We pay their market rate, but the senior, there's never any cost, and they're not obligated for anything.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation.
Use the mouse to advance it right
Just
here.
click the mouse.
Yes.
Right click or?
Yes, or you can set it to the slideshow.
No, yeah, no. 30 seconds. How are we doing? Are we awake still? Hey. All right. Good evening. I'm Mark Stevenson, president of Napa Solano Audubon. I'm here tonight with our grant request entitled Come Fly With Us, asking for your support to expand our bird walks at American Canyon Wetlands, a place we consider to be one of the top 10 birding locations in the entire Bay Area. First, a little bit about our organization. Our mission is to share the fun of birding, to get kids outside, to provide educational programs in our schools and community, to promote citizen science to better understand birds and their habitats, and to advocate for habitat conservation and preservation in our local communities. And I've forgotten how to make this advance. Okay, here we go. Is there a, it's not on the screen here, okay. Sorry. Okay, so first about sharing the fun of birding. We currently share the fun of birding by monthly beginner bird walks at American Canyon Wetlands. We have weekly bird walks alternating between Napa and Solano counties and monthly field trips throughout the Bay Area and beyond, led by experienced birders. For the past 8 years, we've engaged over 1,000 students in Napa and Solano County schools every year, including programs in all American Canyon schools. Students participate in a series of 4 or 5 hour-long lessons centered around birds and conservation, incorporating fun, hands-on activities and bird walks that address California state teaching standards. We also host monthly speaker seminars and publish informative newsletters and provide educational tabling at community events like the upcoming Mare Island Winged Migration Festival. We're dedicated to collecting citizen science data. Our Bird Seasons program provides year-round weekly surveys at American Canyon Wetlands and Benicia Community Park, where our volunteers collect bird species data to better understand seasonal population changes. We monitor over 160 bluebird and kestrel nest boxes each week during breeding seasons, and we coordinate 3 Christmas bird counts, including our upcoming Christmas bird count for kids that will be held at the wetlands. I'm sorry I'm having trouble figuring out how to advance slides. And lastly, we advocate for habitat conservation. I'm going to move on to our last slide to give myself time for it. And this grant will help Napa Solano Audubon increase the number of American Canyon wetland bird walks. It will help to fund our informational outreach to the American Canyon community via news media, community brochures, and social media platforms. It will support...
Thank you. Your time's up.
Yep. It'll support honorariums for high school interns and naturalists to lead American Canyon bird walks, and it will help us to increase our educational signage. So, and the last slide is questions, so there you go.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
We do have wonderful wetlands with many bird species, and I often see people out there taking walks with their binoculars and cameras and enjoying all of the wildlife and the bird life that is out there. How much is the cost of one walking school field trip?
We actually don't charge the schools. We're a volunteer organization, and everyone donates their time. We have no administrative costs whatsoever. However, if we lead a walk on the weekends, we usually pay our naturalist $75 for 4 hours. So it's less than $25 an hour.
So the grant funds would be used for outreach and marketing, like materials?
And we currently hold 1 trip a month, and sometimes 2 if we can squeeze it in. And we've had attendance varying from like 5 individuals to 25 individuals. So we feel like we need some mechanism to get the word out there to increase participation. So that's why some of the grant is used for brochures and social media and any way that we can inform. Meeting at the library, we're giving a presentation at the library in January, that kind of thing. But also honorariums. We're training right now. We've reached out and we're going to get high school mentors that will learn from our naturalists and then hopefully be able to lead walks themselves or help with the leading.
Thank you.
Yep. Does that make sense? So we also have educational signage. We currently have quite a few signs in the wetlands, but we'd like to improve and upgrade those. You know, if we're obviously with these groups, I'm humbled actually in the presence of the presentations we've had tonight. There's obviously, we need rich benefactors to like quadruple the money or the city. And I'm hoping, you know, we could cut signage out of the grant just to cut it down. But clearly, I would like to pay those high school interns for their time once they get trained. I work about 40 hours a week for free, maybe 60.
Thank you.
Other questions? Any questions?
How do you plan to outreach to like a younger audience in general?
Well, we actually, most of our school programs are done in elementary schools. So we've currently been in the the fourth grade at Donaldson Way, and we're going to the third grade at Napa Junction in January, February. So we try to reach the age of student that we think is most receptive to going out and being outside and birding. And we're hoping that we're going to build that within the community and get kids off from the screens that they're watching so much after school, including high school kids. We work with the AP Environmental Studies class at the high school as well.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you very much for your presentation.
Yep.
Hello, my name's Ana Soto, and I'm the program director at News. We've been Napa County's DVSA service provider since 1991, and in our 45 years, we know that prevention works, and that reaching young people early changes outcomes. Nationally, 1 in 3 teens experience dating abuse. We see this in our crisis calls, our shelter intakes, and our direct work with youth. That's why we're bringing I'd Peel an Orange for You to American Canyon, a Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month program using art and the orange peel theory to help teens recognize what healthy love looks like. The theory asks, if I asked someone to peel an orange for me, would they? And it's not about the orange, it's about small, unprompted acts of care. This concept went viral on TikTok and Instagram because teens recognized it immediately. It was genuine care versus performative love. It's concrete, it's their language, and it opens conversations about respect, boundaries, and what they deserve. American Canyon youth deserve prevention education that meets them where they are. Many are having complex cultural contexts around relationships, and this program responds to this need, creating space for conversation, peer support, and skill building that respects their lived experience. Art gives young people a way to process relationship dynamics when words aren't enough. And in partnership with Nimbus Arts, News will bring their mobile studio to American Canyon, bringing professional art instruction and all materials directly to students at no cost. So how does the program work? It'll be 25 to 50 youth who will participate in hands-on art workshops exploring the theme, I'd Peel an Orange for You, creating work that reflects healthy relationships, small acts of kindness, and what care looks like. It could be through paintings, ceramics, or mosaics. And during the time, students will receive education on healthy relationship dynamics, warning signs, boundary setting, and peer support delivered through creative expression. Their artwork will be featured in the countywide Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month exhibit at the end of February, with their voices and creativity representing their community. So how does this impact American Canyon? The funds will stay in American Canyon, such as supplies and materials that they can take home, professional instruction, and student leadership. The orange peel theory gives teens a tangible way to evaluate their relationships, asking questions like, does this person show care through small actions, or do I? It's a framework that they can use immediately. The exhibit elevates American Canyon youth voices countywide and their understanding of what a healthy relationship looks like, and it'll be visible across Napa County. News's I'd Peel an Orange for You meets teens where they are, in their language, through their creativity, centered in their own community. And with your support, local youth will lead a prevention movement that's as simple and profound as peeling an orange for somebody you care about. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. This is so important for our teens and our youth to understand what healthy relationships are before they get into them. And then when they're in them, to be able to recognize it and to do it through art and to have that continuum of support from the class through the art presentation at the county is incredible. And I think this is very, very necessary. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you for being here, excuse me, and all the service that you guys do for the community. So how have you involved the target population or the community in the planning of this development of your project?
Yeah, so we start planning for our Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month around like November, December. We're actually like really close to developing or to sharing like externally. Usually we partner with the schools all across Napa County to be able to deliver like what our plans are. So we're like on the verge of doing that right now. And what we usually do is we partner with some of the student leaders that we have or connections with in the different schools. We also do go to schools right now. We're in 8 currently because we're down to staff, but we're normally in 13 schools countywide. And we are here in American Canyon Middle School and in high school seeing students one-on-one. So we have connections presently also. So it's word of mouth and all that. So they have a lot of connections to our we call it Youth Matter is our program that comes on sites. So there's a lot of knowledge of that program already. So we plan to use that connection.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation.
Hello. Good morning, or good evening. No, it's not quite morning yet. Commissioners, and thank you for the opportunity to present. This is Devat Mohammed. That's part of our Seroptimus. My name is Kristen Einberger, and I'm here on behalf of Seroptimus International of American Canyon to introduce our new safety initiative called Safe Sips, Safe Nights, a program designed to prevent drink spiking and empower women to feel safe when they go out in our city. Drink spiking is an underreported but very real threat that disproportionately affects women and young adults. Substances can be slipped into drinks in seconds without taste or smell and have life-altering consequences: assault, injury, and trauma. While California AB 2375 requires some bars to offer drink lids on request, most American restaurants and mixed services establishments are not covered by this law, leaving a significant gap in protection for local residents. Women deserve to enjoy a night out without fear. Establishments want to keep patrons safe, but many lack the tools, materials, and training. Our project directly fills that gap. Safe Sips, Safe Nights will provide 50 drink covers to each of the 13 bars and restaurants across our city. We'll distribute reusable scrunchy drink covers during safe drinking, safe dating workshops. We'll train business staff with the support from the Safe Foundation, a nonprofit specializing in self-defense and safety awareness, and together we'll install signage in women's restrooms to increase awareness and offer options for help, including escort request and emergency response. This program protects women, supports local businesses, and reduces preventable strain on law enforcement and healthcare system. It strengthens our culture of vigilance, care, and safety citywide. Seroptimus has been serving in American Canyon since 2018. We've grown from 12 members to 55 and now operate scholarships, youth leadership programs, senior isolation reduction efforts, and gender-based violence awareness initiatives. Safe Sip, Safe Nights continues that same mission: empowering, educating, and protecting women and girls while benefiting the wider community. This project is low cost, high impact, sustainable through Seroptimus fundraising, and immediate implementable. Yes, so thank you. Any questions?
No question, but a comment. This is a wonderful program, and this is one of my greatest fears as a father for my daughter. So this is very much appreciated, and more people need to know about this program in other cities and other places.
Thank you.
So you said there's going to be establishments here
Yeah.
doing
there-
this program, and
Yes, all 13 restaurants and any place that offers liquor
okay,
or wine and beer will be covered.
nice.
Have you had conversations with those establishments? Are they in agreement with participating in your program and allowing you to place signage?
Not yet. We're just going to start on that with this Safe Foundation.
Is there a law that requires them to allow this?
There is, but the law, it's this California AB 2375, but it doesn't cover most places in American Canyon for various reasons.
Interesting, thank you. And are these disposable? The
Yeah.
lid covers, they are,
The lid covers are disposable. The scrunchies are things that women wear on their wrists, and then they can be made into drink covers. Those are reusable.
okay. And this request covers all of those supplies?
Yes.
Thank you.
That's a really, really good, when I read this, I thought that was really interesting, and it is much needed, unfortunately, in
Scary.
this time. Yeah. So how will you continue the project, this activities, and maintain its impact after the grant funding ends?
We will do it with the Safe Foundation, and we'll do it through fundraising, Seroptimus fundraising. It will be one of our big things.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you for your presentation.
So you can advance the slides.
My name is Emily Shoemaker. I have been with Spirit Horse for about 6 years. I'm a senior volunteer and a junior instructor. Spirit Horse serves hundreds of individuals in the community every year through our equestrian activities and general therapeutic services. Our activities and programs include the Horse Empowering Youth Program and therapeutic equine experiences for persons of diverse abilities, veterans, and individuals with memory impairment, as well as a multitude of camps for a wide variety of things, such as cancer patients to like troubled youth, as well as regular lessons in the arena for both instructional and therapeutic purposes.
My name is Millie Kane, and I'm president of American Canyon 4-H. Our club offers projects such as archery, small animal, large animal, gardening, and baking. The species we currently raise at Clark Ranch include steer, swine, sheep, and sometimes turkeys. We're also visited every summer by various summer camps, including the Boys and Girls Club.
Our current uses of power include power tools for farm maintenance and general upkeep, blowers and other equipment for livestock grooming and well-being, things like digital scales for weighing animals and assessing growth and health, as well as things like any needs for community events. Currently, those needs are met through a generator that runs on fuel that we use extension cords to get to the places that need the power. And that is a challenge because it requires to be moved around the property as well as fueled.
As a very committed member of American Canyon 4-H and one of our livestock showmen, electricity at Clark Ranch would greatly impact the success and efficiency of our projects. From the months of February to August, when we have livestock, you'll find us down at the farm at any point of the day, including during the dark. Electricity will allow us a safer and better equipped show year. As a sheep showman, I'm out there every day washing and blow drying legs while this noisy and annoying generator has to be going in order for the job to get done. For me, having electricity down here would it truly enhance the quality of my time in nature with my animals. Not only would it allow my quality to be enhanced, it would also allow for a more biosafe environment, allowing us easier access to cleaning of our pig pens, along with fans for the hot summers in California. Here at American Canyon, we're producing show-winning livestock, and we're taking home banners every year. So not only would this improve our efficiency,
Thank you.
but also give us a competitive edge. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming. I'm near you guys. I'm right outside you guys' gates, like a lot, and I see what you guys do. You have a lot of kids that go in there, and you guys look like you're having fun, but I know you're teaching and helping a lot. So it's a great thing you guys do over there, and I appreciate you. Yep.
Thank you very much, ladies, for your presentation. It is dark out there, isn't it? Yes, some infrastructure would be fantastic. Correct. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Good evening. Last but not least, my name is Devet Mohammed, and I am the founder and lead instructor of Warrior Spirit Training Initiative. What began as a personal journey in martial arts has become a community movement of empowerment, safety, and healing. I began studying martial arts at the age of 45, eventually earning 3 black belts. Martial arts taught me discipline, confidence, self-control, and most importantly, awareness. But the turning point came, but the turning point came, where are we? All right, here we go. But the turning point came when my nieces asked me to can I teach them how to defend them, or teach them how to protect themselves? At first I hesitated, but then my husband said something that changed everything. He said, teach them self-defense. Empower these women to be bold and brave, not like you had to be. At first, I didn't understand it until I understood it. You see, I am a survivor. I've lived through domestic violence. I've lived through sexual assault. I'm a statistic. He didn't want me to be the way I was, and he, sorry. Sorry. If I had learned these skills earlier, if I had the awareness, the boundaries, the voice, so much heartache could have been prevented. So I made a promise that no woman and no child would ever have to live through this pain alone, that they would always have somebody there for them. And that was the birth of Warrior Spirit Training Initiative. In 2025, we committed to offering monthly warrior workshops rotating through dojos and community spaces. Recently, we held free monthly classes at the Pretty Woman Center, always on the last Sunday of the month, and every session was filled with women and girls ready to learn, heal, and grow. Warrior Spirit Training Initiative believes in partnerships. We've collaborated with News, the Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Services in Napa, where I serve on the board of directors, and Seroptimus International of American Canyon, where I serve on the Gender-Based Violence Committee. Why do we need this grant? To reach more people, to provide safety and training equipment, to reduce or eliminate cost barriers, and ultimately give back to the community. We want to expand. More workshops, more prevention education, more outreach, more access for the vulnerable populations. We are committed to building a network of empowerment across the city of American Canyon, working hand in hand with nonprofits, schools, and youth groups. Our vision is simple: a safer, stronger American Canyon where women and children feel confident, aware,
Thank you.
and capable of defending themselves physically, mentally, and emotionally. No questions? Thank you.
Do you have a place to do this, or is this somewhere you're gonna,
Yeah, so we have been rotating through dojos, and then the Pretty Woman Center was the last place that we did it. They donated their space to us. So launching in January 2026, we're going to be doing weekly classes at the American Canyon Adult Center. Every Tuesday from 6 to 7, so if anybody wants to come, sign up. Plug.
Thank you very much for what you do, for this work, for your mission, and for sharing your story. It is so impactful. I'm a survivor sister, and this is really important to continue to teach women and girls in our community to be able to protect themselves should they need to.
Yes,
so thank you for everything that you're doing and for your wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
Chair, we would like to suggest taking a 5-minute recess, 5 to 10-minute recess, just so that everyone can use the facilities before we get into the second half of this evening.
Granted. That's not how my life doesn't work like that. I don't have time to sit on the couch and drink a glass of wine. I knew something was really wrong. But once I sat down on my couch, I became instantly paralyzed. Instantly paralyzed to do anything else. December does that. December can really do that. December is just, it's just really busy.
Up there. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, that's such a great.
They're so amazing, these kids.
They teach us
To the right, the far right. Those kids have even learned how to restrain their generator.
Oh, that's cool.
Because
Dang.
you
Because
pull
it's
it,
fun,
it
yeah.
pops, and
Yep.
they learn how to restrain it.
Like a lawnmower.
Yep, they
Yeah.
know how to restrain their generators, they know how to do, load the fuel in the weed whackers, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So it goes beyond animals, it goes beyond, yeah.
Well, because you gotta, it's about the animals, and you gotta take care of the animals, and just 'cause it's dark at 5:15 doesn't mean that they don't need to be fed. Every day I'm racing out there, because I'm like, I'm not going under that trailer in the dark, I'm not going under that trailer in the dark.
We do, we do. We installed some solar lights in the steer feeding barn for the kids. And it is so funny because like, at least they're not squirming anymore. The first couple times, like we open the door and the lights go on and you hear right? And like, it's like
I'm gone.
and I was like, and so my new thing is like, just don't look down, right? Yeah.
What's up, glitter girl?
Hi, sweetheart.
Absolutely not.
It's just
Like you have the flu?
It's just, no. That's when you light it on fire. Go away.
I wish we could.
No. It's like, you know when you see like that show where like a spider's in your house, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna light my entire house on fire. Like it's done. Like I'm done, I'm leaving.
My
Bye.
mom, we lived out in St. Helena, out in the vineyard, in the middle of 25 acres, and super dusty vineyard. house built in 1898. And so the spider, with a basement and an attic, and so the spider could just come. And so like, every other month, running from the spring through the fall, my mom would get chilies.
Oh, you told me this.
And she would burn them on her tortilla griddle and smoke out the house. And like, she would literally leave them with the stove on, like on low, and we'd be gone for like 4 hours. And you come back, house would be like black smoke inside, but like every spider was dead on the ground. And we would be coughing, and that was my mom's like it was better than rain. Like that woman knew how to kill any little bug on her with her chilies.
Well, it's important to know how to kill the bugs when you grow up in the country.
That's it.
I grew up in the country, so
How'd you kill bugs?
like that.
Well, see, my mom didn't like touching them. That was her problem.
Yeah.
So
Well,
the
you
chili.
have to commit.
You have to commit.
You have to commit. Like it can't.
Full
like,
crunch and all.
It can't like make a squish and then half crawl off. Because now I can't grow back. Now it's just, and like once you see it, like now you're
No,
gonna find it.
that's when you hear me start screaming.
We had a mouse that got into our travel trailer.
I ran over a mouse this morning. I felt so bad. The stupid little thing. I was driving on the freeway, headlights are on because it's so early in the morning, and this little mouse runs out into the fast lane and then sits up. And I was like, sorry, buddy. That was really dumb.
Yeah, it was dumb. Like, you didn't deserve to
You
live
don't
after
want
that.
to make a
You just
recommendation.
sat on the freeway.
I mean, it's going on Tuesday. Hi, so, and it will be.
With or without us?
Goodness. And we'll be part of the staff report.
No, you were not multitasking. You don't need it. You were not, and I'm sorry. I thought the time was.
So if you're comfortable with that,
I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry, I'm getting a tickle in my throat. Oh
I am
my
the
God.
Grinch. I'm on very strict timeline.
Thank you, Nicole.
I have to,
Oh,
tomorrow.
here,
I have
just
a
grab a
deadline.
few.
Once
I
you guys
just-
make a recommendation,
I'm
I'm
trying to
gonna
keep
be
up with
from
the
like 9
meeting
to
while
1,
I
1
know,
to 2,
I'm
and
so
then I
sorry.
have
No,
to
you're good. Thank
update
you.
the staff report. We're reposting on Monday, so I have homework. So I know you guys are working late tonight, but just think about all the work that still needs to happen.
Are you at the chamber?
Yep.
Yeah? You're running the show now?
No.
You're by yourself. You and Alan.
So are we rating 1 to 5?
Oh,
Ally
did you?
will give you instruction.
Oh, nice.
I'm just the
Can I hug you?
Okay, no, didn't turn out, but.
I was waiting
It's
for that.
freezing cold.
Yeah.
And it was
So
cold.
busy.
This time of year is so busy.
I have
Good.
four
Just trying to get
events
ready for Christmas.
today.
That's kind of
And
like
I send my
forefront right now. Trying to make sure I get all my
I'm
shopping
like,
done.
do your best.
You can't do them all.
I know.
Finally,
Everything
love
else is
yourself.
great.
Yes, you got
And,
that.
it was fun.
It is fun.
I'm
It was
about.
fun. I love having the choir there. And I just,
Yeah, Jimmy, they did
it's
such a
just,
good
it's
job.
just great. Like,
Terrible.
it's like been the same thing, right? And I kind of like that in like traditional sort of sense.
After
It's
this
the same
weekend, if I
thing.
don't get it
I'm
done,
gonna super try not to forget to go to Cosmomas on Saturday.
Oh, I know, right?
In the brain.
Are you guys staying
And then I was like,
Teddy
I
bear.
got 4 parties on Saturday.
I have 2. I was like, did I overlap? I was like, no, I think I'm gonna make it. This one is at noon, this one is at 3. It's an hour away. It's
My
an hour
goodness.
event.
Really
I
quickly.
think I can do it.
All right, nobody want to stay and hear what's gonna happen? Okay.
I don't know. if you
Guess it
know
makes it a
this.
little bit easier for you guys.
I don't know if you know this or not, but it is like basically midnight, Allie. You guys
So
are.
New York.
It's midnight somewhere.
Right here, right now. It's midnight.
Yeah.
Do you want to
Well,
provide direction on the record?
Yes.
or-
Yeah, when we reopen it, we'll talk about like how we want to organize it.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So-
Which plan stands?
Do you guys want to do, so we created an Excel spreadsheet, like first and foremost, we can, if there's any groups that you don't want to, that you don't want to, fund or make the recommendation to fund, we can talk about that first, and why. Or, if you're,
if you want to do it that way. Do you want us to go group by group and then everybody say their piece, or one by one, like through the whole list?
I mean, it really.
What is less cumbersome for you to get what you need from us?
If there's any groups that we don't want to fund, that would probably be the best way to just start and just get that out of the way, so that we can really focus on the ones that we want to, but I don't know if that is what you.
But everybody's gonna be different.
Yeah, I think we have to have a discussion.
That, you have to have a discussion,
I mean, there's,
so.
there's definitely, like, if I, it's a finite fund, right? So there's definitely groups that have cut. Like groups that have, well, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like, I can, there's definitely groups I would just cut right up.
So why don't we start with that first, if you don't mind, just so that we can really narrow down the ones that we want to focus on. If there is a consensus that we don't want to, you know, but I think that really would be a good starting point, and then we can really narrow down the ones and then identify those.
Do we want to bring up the Excel, do we want to put the Excel spreadsheet up on the board to begin with? And
We're gonna put the Excel spreadsheet up on the board so we can look at that, and you guys have it in front of you.
Okay, so, hold on. I will do
She
this.
said we're gonna start with the ones that we don't like.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and unmute.
Excel spreadsheet, and then we'll just discuss as we go.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and unmute everything and restart. So, live mics. And you'll need to reconvene. Okay. Okay, just one second. Okay, we're ready. Chair, are we ready to reconvene?
Yes, we are. We're reconvening at 9:23 p.m., the regular Parks and Community Services Commission meeting, December 11th, 2025. Okay, on to our discussion. Director, do you have a guided process for us you'd like to explain?
Yes. So I think the best way, we have 18 applications here this evening before you. Again, we have $30,000 that we were going to be making a recommendation to the council. And again, that goes on Tuesday. So what I would recommend, we have a spreadsheet in front of you today. That's every applicant. We'll pull out the ones that aren't, that are not going to be considered already, which is going to be the American Canyon Arts Foundation, and then Helping Hands American Inc. So those will automatically, we'll move those out. And then what I recommend is maybe take some time, if there's any groups that we don't want to make the recommendation to fund for any reason, we discuss that first, and then we can narrow down to the ones that we want to focus on and really talk about how the recommendation will move forward with distributing those funds.
Okay, Commissioner Smith?
Oh, you want me to start? So, to be clear, I want to fund everybody. But we have to, but we have to make some cuts. So this is how I'm thinking about it, okay? Impact to community, I think everybody passes impact to community. The next tier for me is impact to organization. So how much is it helping that organization? And then a sub part of that is staying power for the funds or runway, right? So is this funding something that will help an organization for the next 10 years? Or is this funding something that's gonna, be a one-time thing, last a couple of months? So that's how I thought about it. So then I coach men's soccer, so I can cut. So here are my cuts. And everybody's doing great stuff. That's not in dispute. Boys and Girls Club, they're asking for $10,000 and a $200,000 shortfall. I don't think we're helping them a lot with the funds. Community Action of Napa Valley, $5,000. They have an operating budget of $1.2 million. I don't think we're helping them very much. Slightly different category, community resource for children. Their revenue this year was $268,000, and they're asking for $8,000 to expand. I think they could maybe find that money. Girls on the Run, they're asking for $30,000. Their operating costs are $468,000, but their salaries are $338,000. So I feel like we're not helping a lot there. Pum, pum, pum. Molly's Angels, again, another, and these are all great, but $10,000 for an operating budget of 1.1 million. Let me see, anything else? And then news, again, another great program, $1,500, but operating budget of 3.5 million. So, and news and personnel expense of 2.6 million. So I feel like there's not a lot of impact there. So they're my thoughts for cuts.
Commissioner Coote?
My thought process was really not as complex. I guess, and I agree with Commissioner Smith that I think they all do great work. And it's all different, and it's hard for me to pass one up. So I went the other route and tried to spread it among them all. What do I do? Do I tell you?
Do you have any identified groups that you would recommend we cross off our list at this time?
No, I don't.
Okay.
So I kind of did the ranking system, and these are all great groups, all needed groups. But we got to look at what's good for our community, and pretty much all of those that you mentioned were low on my ranking system, with the addition to the Audubon Society. They're self-volunteered. They don't have any head space. They don't have any. They're pretty much self-sustaining, so I didn't think they really needed.
I think I would. I think the thing that concerned me about most of what Audubon were requesting was going to marketing expenses, as compared directly to the program. So I think I would agree with that as well. Although I do want to be, I do feel like part of the money we allocate should be adjacent to an open space like initiative. But I agree with what you're saying.
So Chair, can I confirm, Commissioner Meyer, are you agreeing with Commissioner Smith on all of the other groups that have been identified, or just the Audubon Society?
Yes, all the other groups were all
So
my
this-
low ranking groups.
Okay, so you're in concurrent with Commissioner Smith?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Vice Chair Mallory?
I'm also in agreement with Commissioner Smith, with the organizations that he chose, due to the large working budgets they have. And like he said, everyone does great work, and I wish that we had more money to give. And I was trying to give everyone just a little, but if we made a few cuts, then some of the organizations would, get a better amount. So I'm in agreement with Commissioner Smith on the cuts.
And also, Commissioner Smith, did you mention GRASP? Was that on one of the ones that you mentioned?
No, they have a pretty small operating budget, so I didn't.
I just kind of felt that that's a great program, but not for this community as well. That's more of a, I don't know, I just,
No, I hear what you're
I
saying.
wasn't too sold on GRASP either,
Yeah,
so.
no, I hear that. I think the thing that interests, the prospect of having, and I know we're gonna get to the other stuff like food banks and that kind of stuff, but the idea of being able to grow the food and educate the kids at the same time. So I hear what you're saying, but I really like the proposition.
I put down that it was probably a good program in the future, because it's not known, and they're not even in our
I bet
city, they're from Irvine, so it's, I
Yeah,
don't know.
I certainly wasn't, I have a number down here. I was not thinking of funding them anywhere near as much as they're asking.
So, yeah, so that's another one of mine that I'm not too hip on.
I agree regarding GRASP. They're out of Irvine. It looks like they've only operated at schools in India, which is wonderful, and I'm sure the need is great there. And they have not even began conversations with the Napa Valley Unified School District, and they said that they primarily partner with schools. I would be interested in hearing back from them next year, once they've had those opening conversations with the school district, to get a commitment from a school in American Canyon, because NVUSD, there are 15 plus schools in Napa and 5 schools here. So I'm concerned, how would we ensure that that growing activity would happen at an American Canyon school unless they've already had those conversations?
Correct. That's what I asked him, so.
I also agree with the other cuts, with the exception of Boys and Girls Club Napa Valley. They do have a very large operating budget. However, this funding ask is directly to benefit scholarships for American Canyon students. And there's no guarantee of ongoing funding. They have multiple partnerships. They also have multiple fundraisers, so they're doing their own fundraising to be sustainable. But I do believe that there is an opportunity for direct impact to American Canyon students, not at the $10,000. I had written a figure of $3,000, so they can provide some scholarships to kids at the American Canyon Clubhouse. And they also give back, and they have a rentable facility, and that rentable facility they offer at a discount to all nonprofits to hold events there. So I think that brings it full circle. It's a true partnership. So that would be my only edit to that.
I agree with that.
That's fair. I mean, you can take it off my list too. That's fair.
Okay, so just let me catch up.
Sorry.
No. So Ian, you said you agree with Gina now?
Yeah.
Okay. And Elson, you agree with Gina as well for Boys and Girls Club?
I do, yes.
Okay. And all of you are saying $3,000?
I think that's a good starting bid, but we'll have to talk about the others, right?
I'm just gonna put a number in the margin right now, so that, as like a placeholder, and then that way we can discuss that later, you guys can discuss further. Okay.
I feel like there were a lot of groups that talked about meals and meals for seniors and food pantry. And so if someone is able to speak to that, like if someone took better notes than I did, as far as like who was going to do meal delivery to seniors versus who was going to do food pantry. I feel like one of these groups talked about food pantry at the high school, but we have the high school wanting to do a food pantry. I want to avoid duplicity.
I think Scott runs a pantry, right? So I think you're the expert.
Yeah, our club runs the Kiwanis Pantry, and the pantries are good, and the school is talking about partnering with Kiwanis on that. I think that's a good program for the school. The programs like the Wellness on Wheels and that, there's not much here in American Canyon with that program. I think that's more somewhere else right now, and I think I would like to see that at a later date as well. the Incredible Blessing one. And the other food one was,
Was Community Action of Napa Valley, which I think we already took them off because of the budget.
yeah, I thought that was more of a Napa, more program, not too much here. And that's what I put in my notes.
I'm happy to follow that recommendation.
Okay, so
That was for the Incredible Blessings.
Incredible Blessings, we're gonna, okay. Anyone else have feelings about Incredible Blessings in terms of,
Was it the Wellness on Wheels for you? Was that the delivery plus the food pantry? And she was talking about the high school, partnering with the high school. Was it
Correct,
kind
and
of all of that?
That's the Blessings one, and partnering with the high school, but I guess she didn't realize that they were already starting their own, yeah.
I agree then with removing them and removing Incredible Blessings for You, because I think that a food pantry at the high school is best run by people at the high school.
Correct.
Commissioner Coote and Commissioner Mallory, any feelings about that?
I was originally thinking that as well, that there were some overlaps as far as the food pantry. That Incredible Blessings for You, I believe they were the ones who said there were wellness checks, you know, and they take blood pressure readings. And so I thought that was needed, but I listening to all of their input, I ultimately agree.
Okay. Commissioner Mallory?
I'm in agreement. I just didn't agree with the amount they requested. I was hoping to give them a little less, well, much less, but not completely cut them out. So yes, I would like to keep them, but give them much less than what they're requesting.
Thank you for keeping our spreadsheet updated, Nicole. I see that I did agree with Commissioner Smith in his list, and I had not checked off news. Even though they have a large operating budget, I think that this $1,500 is for a program directly at the high school. And I think that it is important that we have dedicated funds and a dedicated class at the high school in American Canyon, and she was clear about that. So I would like to give them what they're asking for.
I'm in agreement. Sorry.
Commissioner Coote, sorry.
That's the Napa News.
Correct.
I know, I listened to that as well, and I thought, well, it's 1,500. It's a really good project. So I'm in agreement with Commissioner Griggs.
I would like to comment on the Mimi Rights Literacy Foundation. I think that this is a fantastic project. How fun to be a kindergartner and be in a book. I think the pilot program, the ask is not great. It's all volunteer-based. The budget is small, and they already have a solid plan in place with a named school. So I would vote to give them their ask.
So I think we're transitioning into so we're done with our cuts, right? Maybe we should ratify what is being cut, and then
Yeah,
we
so I
start
can
talking
mark it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see all the zeros here. I think that's
Do you want me to read
keeping
them?
us updated, right?
Yeah.
Are there any other recommendations for cuts?
So we
I would like to discuss the Spirit Horse and 4-H ask. I'm very familiar with this property. I'm out there every day. It is very dark, very early at this time of year. However, I would like to get the group's feelings on the fact that this is a city-owned property that is leased to 4-H and Spirit Horse, serving a need in the community and offering free programming and educating our youth in Future Farmers of America. And I would prefer to see the city provide electricity to this leased plot of land, to these groups that have been out there for greater than a decade. I would like the city to give them a light and them not to have to apply for a grant for it.
No, I think that's a good point. I don't know how that works or helps them in the near term. So if we're moving to, like, you know, why we should fund, I think, you know, one of the important things for me was staying power or runway. Like, how is it going to meaningfully impact the organization for a long time, right? When I look at their profit and loss, it's a pretty tightly run organization, right? You know, it's definitely, you know, you call that a volunteer organization, and giving them or helping them get electricity is definitely going to change the organization. So I think while I understand what you're saying, I think that would be for me that, and you know possibly the baseball golf cart, which we can talk about. I think they're two of the things where I think allocating more money makes sense because of the impact to the organization. That's what I think. So to be clear, I would support. I support that, and we can talk about the golf cart, but I support that too.
I'm for the golf cart. I mean, it's a big need out there, but it shouldn't be a golf cart, actually.
Yeah. No, I mean, you know, what I think, I know they already get quite a lot of money from the city, but they, you know, because I wasn't clear if they were getting, from the presentation we had last month, it said they were getting 30,000 this year, but their budget said 10. But that's for field maintenance, or so I didn't understand. But that notwithstanding, there's a certain footprint there that needs to be maintained, right? And they need a cart, right, to do that. And I think that, you know, that if we think, you know, amortized, that's got to have a life of you know, 5 to 10 years. So that makes sense to me. But I don't know what else would they get instead of a golf cart? That's outside of my.
Tractor thing.
And how much do they run?
That was the price of what they put in for.
Okay.
But I mean, if they got a little bit less, they could add to it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like-
Yeah.
But I'm for them getting something.
Yeah.
Not the full. It doesn't have to be the full amount.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I just think they're examples of things that will help those organizations for, you know, like over a 10-year period or 20, you know, 15. So.
I agree. If we're talking about both of those projects, the Spirit Horse and the Little League, I definitely would like to fund if even if it's partial, just something.
Chair, can I interrupt really quick? So we have a couple conversations going on. I'm trying to help our deputy city clerk over here make sure that she's tallying everything correctly. But before we do that, Commissioner Meyer did bring to my attention that at 10 o'clock, this meeting is supposed to conclude. We could vote to continue the conversation, but that is completely up to this body. We will need a motion to do that. So before we continue, since we have 15 minutes left and there's still quite a lot to do, I just wanted to kind of let you know that we do have a 10 o'clock end time, but it's up to this body if they want to continue the conversation.
I was just joking. Let's get it done.
Well, I will need a motion for that, please, if that is the case.
All right, motion to continue our meeting beyond the 10 p.m. hour, should it become necessary.
I'll make that motion to continue this meeting till we get it done.
I'm just glad we didn't do the revenue measures tonight.
Do we have a second?
Yes, I'll second.
Thank you very much. Motion carried.
Thank you for that. And Commissioner Meyer, I was not calling you out. I was thanking you for you reminding me of that timer. So I appreciate you. Thank you. Okay, so to go back.
I'm sorry, one technical note, because we vote by roll call for everything.
Roll
we
call.
need to be consistent. Okay. Sorry about that. Commissioner Shirley Cook,
Present.
Commissioner Scott Meyer,
Yes.
Commissioner Elston Mallory,
Yes.
and Commissioner Ian Smith,
Aye.
Chair Gina Green.
Aye. Okay, to get us back on track,
Yes, so Chair, what we are recommending, since we've kind of already identified the ones that we are wanting to set to the side, we haven't really confirmed all the way through. So why don't we go line by line?
that was going to be my recommendation
yes.
as well.
Thank
We
you.
start at the beginning and let's discuss if we want to discuss. If there's no discussion, just a yes or a no and a suggestion on dollar amount.
Could I make a suggestion on the spreadsheet? Can we, if we put the dollar amount under our names, we could do a subtotal at the bottom and you could have a running total?
So I would have to change the formulas.
Oh,
I
well,
didn't set
okay.
this
All right. Okay, that's
form
fine.
up, so that's why.
This is a simple Excel spreadsheet.
I could do it in a couple of minutes if you.
If you want to come over here and drive, you're welcome to, but, or I can just put it.
If it'd help, because I think like we're not gonna end up with 30,000. We're gonna end up with like some of us will have like 28, some will be like 40, and then we just have to cut from there, right?
I think what we want to do is just figure out if you want to, if there's interest or not at this point.
I agree, and then it's probably going to be equal shares given
Yeah.
to.
I think we really want it because it's not consistent on the ones that we want to completely not consider. So if we can just go one by one and just say yes or no, and then if you have a reasoning as to why, or you're trying to discuss that would be your time. But we're going to take each one by one because I think that would be really helpful for our deputy city manager and then also for the conversation. And then if we see a consensus on one of the groups, then we can really discuss about that dollar amount because we do want to make sure that we're not going over 30,000. And then just a side note, our youth commissioners are absolutely allowed to participate in this conversation. So please do not be shy. Your opinions do matter as well.
Why they have their own columns on the spreadsheet. Okay, I'm going to start us off line one. I would like to support the ACHS Wolfpack Music Program because I believe it directly impacts students in American Canyon, and they have lots of wonderful programming. They travel around. They are doing other fundraising. However, I want to be careful that we are not setting precedent, that we are supporting all of the multitude of groups at the high school because there are a lot of them. So to be mindful that if we support one, they could all come back next time, which would be great, but problematic at the same time. So I am in favor of supporting them, but for a lower dollar amount for the instrument repairs and purchases they need in order to run their program, like more like a kind of a a long-standing benefit, but then with the expectation that they're going to do fundraising for the other things.
I also agree with that viewpoint, and thank you for allowing us. We didn't realize we were allowed to speak on this part of the meeting, but I totally agree with that point of it being like we don't want other groups to think that we're giving a huge amount of money to the Wolfpack Music and the other groups from our campus, because there's a lot of different groups and clubs and whatnot that feel like excluded, or that they would want to come back next year and require like the same amount of money.
I agree with all those points, and I agree with all that.
I say yes.
Like we were supposed to.
I'm gonna suggest, so I'm gonna suggest $1,500. I think maybe it'll be quick, like if we want to be quicker, if we just say what dollar amount we want to give. So I'd say 1,500 for this program.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I was going to say half, but I'm okay with that as well.
I'm okay.
I agree as well.
Okay, Ahi swim team. I would like to support the swim team. I think this is health and wellness and safety. Water safety is a priority. We know our community loves water recreation, as is exemplified in our Parks and Recreation Aquatics programming. I would like to support the scholarships. I would like to suggest $2,000 for Ahi.
I agree. I've got 2,000 on here as well.
I'm cheap. I had 500 to 1,000, but I can be convinced. I don't think they should get more than the music program. Because it's I think it's a much broader impact, right? So.
I'm good with 2,000 to them because our city gets a lot of revenue from them. There's a lot of, that's a pretty, we put a lot of money into that pool, so.
Yeah, we're not getting any of it, but I think we're operating at like a $500,000 deficit with the pool, so I don't think we're recouping, but I'm fine with, if you want 2,000, I'm fine with that.
I agree with the 2,000 as well.
I agree with 2,000.
I agree with 2,000.
Fantastic. Moving on to the ACHS Food Pantry. I think this is a great idea. I think it's very necessary. I think there is demonstrated success from one of the leaders, Ms. Sorrente at the American Canyon Middle School, and I suggest 2,000 for them.
I would like to fully fund the program. So at 3,000.
I'm in agreement to fully fund them.
I'm okay with that.
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 So we're at 7,500, just so everybody knows.
Golf cart.
Golf cart, here's the golf cart.
Necessary. Do not think that we should have to purchase it, given they are already receiving support from the city and other funding sources. But it is necessary. I would like them to do their own fundraising for a portion of it, but I like to get them started with $2,000.
I agree with that.
I agree they should be funded for at least half. Yes.
Yeah, I'd be okay with 3,500 as well.
How much?
3,500.
Yeah, I was gonna say 3, but 3,500 would be good. I'm good with 3,500.
I'm okay with that.
I'll jump on board.
I also agree with 3,500.
You're at 10,000.
I think if we can get Director Akita to be our auctioneer, we can.
We're going 10,000, 10,000, 10,000 now, 10,000 now, 10,000. You only have 20,000 left. Be smart with your choices.
Okay, here we go. Moving on down the line. We are at,
Free doors.
yep, Manila Munchies.
I would suggest let's come back to this one. See how much money we got.
What are you talking about?
Wait.
Skip for now.
Yeah,
So-
just because
We skipped Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, we probably need to
Oh, yeah,
talk
yeah.
about
Sorry.
Boys and Girls Club and Community Action Napa Valley. I mean, there's only a couple that said 0 and,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
okay.
please, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Thoughts on Boys and Girls Club? What, based on what's on the spreadsheet from the rest of the group?
I would like to fund it if partial or with any amount. I would like to put funds towards them.
It is a proposed $3,000 right now on our spreadsheet.
We can leave it and then see if we're where we are with the budget.
Do our youth commissioners have thoughts on this?
If we have money left over, we can come back to that.
I think that I want to think about it maybe a little more, so maybe come back to it for me.
I think I'm interested in partially funding it, so.
See how we just need to skip down to friend doors?
Actually, Community Action Network.
We're at 4, and if everybody else voted, it'd still be 4-3, it'd still be carried.
Any thoughts from our youth commissioners on community action of Napa Valley or community resources for children?
Didn't we already? Oh.
I recommend that we don't fund community action of Napa Valley.
And what about children?
I'm in agreement as well.
I can agree to that.
Okay.
We're going to skip friend doors for now and come back to it. Girls on the Run, any thoughts from our youth commissioners or Commissioner Coote?
This is that. My notes, this is that after-school programming. I wanted to fund them even if it's partial, so I wrote down 2,000. Or not partial, but, you know, something towards them.
I don't believe that we should fund them.
I also agree that we shouldn't fund them.
Moving on to GRASP, the hydroponics future of farming.
Okay, so that's
So I really like your idea, but I think to cut to the chase, I think the point that you made, which is they haven't outreached to any schools, would, you know, let's see if they want to come back next year. Like so I'm a 0 for them now, but I don't know what others think.
Yeah, that was a good point. I initially thought that was a really good idea, that it was interesting, but you guys had really good points, so I can agree to wait right now.
I really like this program, but I'll agree with the group on this one. We can wait.
I thought GRASP was a good idea, but I just think with the distance and everything, I don't think I would agree to fund it.
I also believe this is a great program that should be revisited next year, but until they have those conversations with the schools and show gain more interest for the program, I think we should wait till next year.
Thank you. Moving on to Incredible Blessings for You, Wellness on Wheels, ask of $10,000.
I'm in disagreement with this one.
I am also in disagreement.
I like this program, but I would like to lessen the amount. I say $3,000.
You have me for a vote on that one, but I was not in agreement
Okay.
with that one.
Thank you for the correction.
Mamie Wright's Literacy Foundation, the kindergarten pilot program book at Donaldson Way Elementary. Ask is $1,000.
I really liked it. I'm all in, and I think we should fully fund them.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree as well.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree as well.
Molly's Angels, thoughts from our youth commissioners and Commissioner Coote.
Although it's a great program, I think their impact is mostly for Napa, so I would suggest we don't fund it.
I'm in agreement with that statement. I think the primary impact is for Napa.
Yeah, it sounded like a really good program with a lot of services, but I agree with both youth commissioners on this as well.
Thank you. Napa Solano Audubon Society, ask is for $6,200 for marketing and outreach.
Again, I wanted to try to spread as much as I can with everybody and fund all these projects, but listening to others' input, it does make sense, and so I'm going to agree and not fund them.
I agree with Commissioner Coot.
I like this program. I think they should be giving something, so I said $1,000.
I can go along with that as long as we're not exceeding our budget. But I think I don't, can we condition the money?
What does that mean?
So not to have it, so not to have them spend it on marketing consultants, actually spend it directly on the program? Like, so to pay for the, they had the, I forget what the program was.
So they actually, so however they want to use it, so per the policy, they actually can use it towards marketing,
Okay.
as long as it's towards their program that they're trying to
okay.
get the information out there. So we would not be putting that into the contract of like, it will just support the program that
Yeah.
they're trying to do.
Okay.
Weigh in from our youth commissioners.
It sounds like a great program, so I would like to partially support them for that $1,000, especially since that money is going towards high schoolers and paying them to be mentors.
I'm going to have to disagree, and I don't think that we should be supporting them.
Thank you. Input on news from our youth commissioners and anyone else that would like to make edits to their vote. Ask is for $1,500 for program at ACHS.
I think news is definitely needed for our schools and unfortunately in the times that we're in, so I would like to support them.
I'm in agreement. I think that news is a great program, and I think that it would be really beneficial in this day and age.
Thank you very much. Seroptimist International of American Canyon. The ask is for $1,500 for their program Safe Sips Safe Night. I would like to partially fund them. I know the ask is not great, but they have not had any conversations with restaurants and getting agreements in posting of any of the signage or of the bartenders or management offering the lid covers. So the only thing they really have kind of a green light on is the scrunchies, which is a great idea, but I don't want things to go to waste if restaurants are not going to follow through. So I would propose $500.
I like this program, and I would propose at least half of their request.
I want to agree with Commissioner Mallory. I'd like to fund it for at least half.
I'm in for half.
I'm also in for half.
I'm also in for half.
I'm okay with half.
Yeah, me too.
Spirit Horse Therapeutic Riding Center and 4-H. The ask is for $8,000 for electricity.
Did we put a dollar amount yet, or were we just, we're just now?
She's put it over.
Sorry.
No, she's put it over here.
I would like to say that I definitely want them to get electricity. I just feel like it is infrastructure that the city should put in, and they should not have to fundraise or apply for grants for this ask. It is a leased property, and having electricity is not unreasonable. They don't have a bathroom either, or trash. So they should have all of those things. But we could start with electricity.
But
So
is-
if the fund has to come from here, then maybe that's our message to council and to the city.
But wouldn't that be a utility, so that should be covered by the city? Or at least to have it there, and then whatever it cost on their end. But I think to provide the wires to them should be on the city, but it,
So I'm fine. I understand, but I think it's important to try to help now. And I don't think an electrical installation of 8,000 for a facility like that is very expensive. I understand they have to run the wire, like the city has to run the power to there, but then they have to put in the, do the electrical. So I'm fine fully funding that or funding it at 2/3 if that's what people think, but I'm fine fully funding it.
I'm in agreement with fully funding them.
I'm in agreement, but maybe a partial funding, maybe half of that.
I was gonna say half myself.
I'll agree to half. Yes.
I agree with half, and I am hopeful that they come back and present to council next Tuesday and express the need for proper infrastructure to continue to provide benefit to American Canyon.
I'm in agreement with half as well.
I also agree with half.
Okay, Warrior Spirit Training Initiative. The ask is $1,000 for a class here in American Canyon. I agree to fully fund their ask.
I agree to fully fund as well.
I agree.
I agree. I agree.
I agree.
So we're at 25,250.
Oh, so we can go back to the golf cart.
No, we
Have to go.
No, we have.
We have to go back to the Manila Munchies, Commissioner Meyer.
No, we have. We have that. But then also
The Fenders. Oh, boys and girls.
No, it was the fenders, but also didn't we want to talk about whether we want to give incredible blessings, or is that do we already have that?
We only have
I think
one
that already
person.
happened, didn't it?
No, but that's in your total, right? So
Oh,
our
I can
total
take-
include. No, I'm just, what I'm saying is, so we're under budget. Do we want to talk about whether we give incredible
I see.
blessings that money? We're within budget.
I think there's other places that could use it.
Okay.
I'm
Should
gonna
we,
take
should
that.
we
Let's
see?
talk
how-
about friend doors
Yeah.
first and then see where we're at.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that this is a new group that is doing things solely in American Canyon to benefit American Canyon and giving back to American Canyon, and their budget is very tight. And although $10,000 is a large ask and we don't have that left to give, I have wrote down $3,000.
Did you say 3? Yeah, I think that's fair.
I agree.
I agree.
I can agree to that.
I'm in agreement.
I also agree.
So, with blessings for you, that brings us to 28,250, but that's with the 3,000 dedicated to incredible blessings for you, where we have one vote.
So we're at 25,250
28,250.
without the
Oh.
3,000.
Yep.
So we 25, so that's 4,750 if we do not choose
The fund.
to fund incredible blessings. Thoughts?
I already made my thought.
I would agree with lowering it, but I would also agree with giving them something, at least $1,000.
I'm also set on my thought.
I'm set on my thought as well.
So just to, maybe I can help the conversation. So just remember, as part of this process, after they've completed the program, they have 3 months to come back and present to you on how that money benefited American Canyon and how they utilized it here serving this community. So just keep that in mind. So they will have the year to do that. And then they will be expected to come back and present. So that's just going to be, if it helps, you're already looking at, and this, I hope this doesn't sound terrible, but you're already looking about 10 presentations out of the 18. So just keep that in mind, because these are groups that you're going to have to track and keep track of and hold them accountable if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So just remember that as well.
Nicole, would you mind scrolling up?
Scrolling up. Okay, so that's the top. Oops, sorry.
With that in mind, I would propose 2,000 to the Wolfpack Music.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I agree with that.
I'm in agreement as well.
I also agree with that.
I'm in agreement.
I'm agreeing.
So that brings us to 25,750, removing the money for Incredible Blessings.
I would suggest increasing the Little League to 4,000.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree as well.
I agree as well.
I also agree.
Okay, so we're at 26,250.
Are we able to give someone more than what they've requested or no?
You can make that recommendation, but again, they're going to have to come back and present how they utilize that money towards the program. So that's a recommendation that this body wants to make, but that would be just something that we would need to make sure that we track.
I would suggest fully funding Sir Optimist.
I agree.
I agree.
Yes for me.
I agree.
I also agree.
So that puts us at 27.
Yeah, I don't agree, but it doesn't matter.
I would suggest giving the Boys and Girls Club a little bit more too.
I agree.
Yeah.
I would increase Boys and Girls Club to 4,000 and suggest increasing Friend Doors to 4,000.
Okay. 29,000. Sorry.
I would suggest increasing Spirit Horse to 5,000.
I'll agree with that.
I agree.
I agree.
I also agree.
Yes for me as well.
I agree.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
Congratulations, you've reached $30,000.
Before we start celebrating, let's make sure we're all okay with this, because this is going to be our recommendation that goes to council on Tuesday. So we're going to go through it. Everybody can just take a look really quick. Wolfpack Music 2,000, Ahi Swim Team 2,000, American Canyon High School Alliance 3,000, Little League 4, Boys and Girls Club 4, Friend Doors 4, Mimi Wrights 1, Napa Solano Audubon 1, News $1,500, Seroptimus $1,500, Spirit Horse 5, and then Warrior Spirit 1,000.
I agree.
Stamping it, and we're moving forward.
Do we need to,
I agree.
sorry, do we need to vote that we agree to the spreadsheet, or?
There's no resolutions.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
no. So, yeah, just a recommendation. It seems like everybody's in consensus with this. So what we'll do is, the packet has already been published with the council with just the generic, with all the applications and everything, so they can have it. We are gonna repost the packet on Monday with the updated recommendation. And then that will be presented to council on Tuesday. And so, just as a reminder, this is a recommendation. Council can fully go with that recommendation, or they can have a completely different thought process. So just keep that in mind, because they have a different lens sometimes. But we'll go ahead and package that up and make sure that this recommendation moves forward.
Thank you very much, Director. Thank you, everyone, for a long but very productive and night in which we are making a recommendation to benefit a lot of people in American Canyon, which is what we're here for, is to serve our community. So thank you, everyone, for that. One last question. It is late, but I have management and staff oral reports. Do you have anything for us,
I have
Director?
2 items.
Okay,
I do.
carry
I do.
on.
Really quick. I'll be quick. I promise. As a reminder, you all should have received an email from me stating that we did add a meeting to your calendar for January 8th. We had to move our revenue measure discussion number 2 to that evening. Also, that evening, we'll be deciding, we'll be selecting our next chair and vice chair, so start thinking about that. So that's going to be the January 8th meeting. And then lastly, this is our last meeting before the holidays. So I just want to wish you all a happy holiday and happy new year. And it's been a pleasure working with you guys so far this year. So thank you so much, and I hope you all have a great time with your family. Happy holidays, American Canyon. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. On that note, regarding the revenue measure, can I make a request that Assistant City Manager Juan Gomez resend his email with the link for our research prior to his next presentation and our discussion about the revenue measure, so that we can all do our homework?
Yes.
More homework?
All right. Oh, it is 10:18, meeting adjourned.
Are these binders for us, or?